Underdog Daily with the Badge Roast, Jon and Nez hanging out. Black and Yellow Dog app platform of the people. Underdog Sports here, and we got another loaded day of sport. Not loaded in terms of the slate dynamics necessarily, but we got 6 games of the football, the European football there, the kicky ball kicky. So people be dialed into the World Cup again there. We got 4 games of baseball on the main slate there, Nezzy, and then we got tons of football stuff to talk through. I know the Bash is going strong right now, ripping through some of those drafts, but we're going to rip through a draft of our own. How we doing, my friend?
Doing well. Catching the tail end of our 2 baseball teams going at it right now, trying to take the series there. And interleague play is always so weird. It's like these teams have no business playing one another. Like it just feels so wrong. Like no one cares. There's no like hate in anyone's heart. It's just like it just feels wrong. Like what? Like, get out of my park. But
I mean, many people are saying that this is a 2028 World Series preview, my friend.
That's what they're saying. Maybe even as early as 2026. Who knows?
Oh, I like it.
Maybe Big Dumper will figure it out.
Yeah, your boys, speaking of dumpers, took belt to Big Dumper ass last night on us there. You guys had an 11 spot or something like that. I just was playing catch up after the fact and didn't see any of that ball game. But Bryce Miller on the hill trying to do his best to get a little win in this series, but not going so well right now.
Hitless through 3, and then they just open the floodgates on him. But whatever. The Pirates are specifically designed this season to just drive me insane, and it's working flawlessly.
I love it. You got your laundry on today. Mad support there. Yeah, I mean it's like we always say, dude. You can only hope to contain Henry Davis for so long.
I love Henry Davis. I really do, and it's like I don't even care that his OPS is like 500 because all he does is hit home runs when he does make contact. So who cares?
Love it. Some GMs in the chat here. What's up to Corey? Jack's rolling through here, and we got Eggers. He's in a state in which he cannot participate, but he still finds the time to hang out with the boys here. Sawdog, what's good? Much love to the people. Nez, I think everything top of mind right now would be to talk about LaMelo Ball, man. Big trade. NBA draft concluded with night 2 last night there. We'll progressively have some draft-based takes and analysis as we go through the double dribble streets and that sort of thing when that contest drops. But I think everybody kind of wants to talk about LaMelo in the trade that was, because I mean, there were rumors of it. It wasn't like firmly on anybody's radar. And I especially think the T-Wolves weren't firmly on anybody's radar as a potential landing spot there. But we get a massive Shams bomb this morning here. And what was just kind of like your knee-jerk reaction?
Knee-jerk reaction was like, man. Before I even saw the return, my initial reaction was like, I don't know about this.
Okay.
Then I saw like what they gave up. I was like, oh, okay. Like this ain't so bad. Like those pick swaps are in Minnesota's favor. Those are not like Minnesota has the discretion, I believe.
Okay.
Like from what I've read, and because like obviously the way this is worded, it looks like the Hornets get the option to swap. I'm like 90% sure from what I saw. The Wolves, it's at the Wolves' discretion to swap.
Wow. Okay.
I'm like almost positive. So I got to find that tweet so I can confirm. I might just not know how to read. Losing Naz Reid is like that's a lot of wind out of the sails for sure. 2033 pick, who gives a shit? Right. And you get LaMelo Ball. Like the team, if you exchange, let's just call it exchanging Julius Randle and Naz Reid for LaMelo Ball, the team got a lot better. Right. I thought LaMelo Ball made great strides last year as a player. This is like kind of like it's hard to see the fit right now, but they'll figure it out. Like it's LaMelo Ball and Ant Edwards, man. You don't have to know what it looks like right now, but I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome.
Dude, I fully agree with you, man. And Josh Green's a decent rotational player that, can play a couple minutes here and there, and he's still relatively young, like similar-ish draft class era, right? Or maybe even same draft class at the back end there from the Mavs. But yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I looked at this and I was like, Naz Reid has like, you know, capital letters, emotional leader. People love him in Minnesota. It's going to be like maybe a fandom tough pill to swallow here. And you instantly think like, okay, now the front court and especially the 4 position looks pretty thin for the T-Wolves, but it's like, they'll figure it out, man. They'll figure it out. Like a couple pick swaps and a future first in like, what is that, 6 years from now or whatever? Like, yeah, who are we kidding, man? Just go ahead and take LaMelo Ball for 3 years of control on your roster. Like, this kind of feels like the poor man's Giannis trade, where it's just like, you just take him on your roster and then you just figure it the fuck out after that, man. But like, LaMelo's 25 years old. He's a great assist guy. They have decent rim protection behind him with Rudy Gobert in particular there. And they have some great on-ball defense with like, you know, Jaden, and they were hell-bent on not giving up Jaden in any of these potential trades. So like, man, I just, it looks so good on, I understand the dynamic might feel, and I tweeted this out earlier, that it might feel like, oh, this is just a little bit younger version of Donovan Mitchell and James Harden playing together. Like, how is this going to work? There's only one basketball, that sort of thing. But like, Melo did great strides, as you alluded to last year, with playing to a lower usage when asked to do so. He also, you know, kind of bit the bullet on the health thing and being like, hey, I never play more than 50 games a year. I'll play off the bench a little bit so I can play back-to-backs kind of thing. Like, he did take good strides here. Now, these two off of the court, both Ant and Melo, like, who knows? A little bit of wild cards in for both of them there. But like, from a basketball talent standpoint, from their age curve and how they could potentially gel together with like the assist potential of LaMelo and finding each other open threes after Ant Edwards decided to start shooting the 3 decently last year. It feels fun, man. It feels like you just take this swing and figure it out later.
Yeah.
The more interesting perspective to me that I'd ask you on is, why did the Hornets do this?
I mean, clearly they just are done with Melo. I'm sure in the locker room, you know, he's an interesting personality, and they are clearly trying to go a different direction. And, you know, salary dump for sure. Yeah, just to like save some money. I mean, I agree. I think it was a weird move for the Hornets, considering that they, you know, made their own strides along with LaMelo last year. Were like a surprise team, a very efficient team for most of the season. Yeah, it is weird. It is a little bit weird, but yeah, I would guess that locker room stuff, and obviously like salary, just getting salary relief, but they're gonna have trouble courting free agents, right? I mean, like, they're not going to be able to just do that easily.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I still think the Hornets roster looks kind of nice. Like, obviously they just gave the extension to Kobe White there, but like, you know, the Brandon Miller, the Con Knipple, like that combination. And then in the draft, they added like kind of like some hyper specialists, like, not to get like fully into it, but like they basically, the kid out of UW's like the best rebounder, best rebounding forward in the class, or maybe just overall best rebounder. And then Christian Anderson, who was the other guy that they drafted in the second round there, was like the best shooter in the class. So like, clearly the Hornets think like, hey, we're almost there right now, and we can live with the fact that we have good young star potential in our backcourt already. Give up Melo, you know, re-sign Kobe White, who they really liked at the tail end of last year. Now he expands his role a little bit more with Melo not around. And then they added a couple like quote unquote win now opposed to like project pieces in the draft. And then Naz Reid, you know, 6th man of the year candidate, therefore like going forward instantly. Right. So
yeah, they're still a fun team.
Yeah, I agree. They're still a fun team. It just caught me really off guard after we kept citing last year after Christmas how that starting 5 was like one of the best in the NBA on like all of the scoring differential stats that we were looking at in this thing. It was like a hot button topic on every podcast. Like, oh, this lineup's one of the best in basketball. And now all of a sudden they're just like barely stuck into the playoffs last year, and then they just blow it up, you know, right thereafter with the Melo thing. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a very interesting move, but I think it makes sense for the Wolves, man.
Yeah, no, I think it makes great sense for them for sure.
Yeah. This is a good shout here. Ant can't get double teamed into oblivion anymore. That makes a lot of sense to me. What was the link here that you're sending me in the private chat?
This is the explanation of like why these pick swaps are like meaningless.
Right.
It's a lot of words. I can't.
It is a lot of words, but okay, we'll drop that in the chat for everyone to read through on their own accord. I just brought it up on screen. We'll do some more research as the season comes around, kind of thing. But yeah, man, the way I read it on paper is like a whole bunch of jargon of like this first and this first, and it was like no. All you guys got was like Naz Reid, who a lot of people will say like Naz Reid, basketball ball knowers are like Naz Reid's low key undervalued, and Naz Reid has a very good contract. Like those are two things you can objectively say about Naz Reid, but like Naz Reid in a first is not enough to get LaMelo Ball with 3 years of control on $40 million per against the cap.
Yeah. I mean that's obviously fair. Yeah, very 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 fun trade to have happen. I was not expecting to see that this morning. Yeah,
no doubt. Anything else you want to talk about hoops related? I just thought this was kind of fun to bring up and talk the front end of the show with.
No, I mean, I don't know a whole lot of the prospects yet, other than like, the top 4. And yeah, I didn't really see too many trades that, kind of like raised my eyebrow. I guess we didn't talk about the Nick Claxton trade to Chicago, the Julius Randle. I think that might have been, I don't know if that was part of Julius Randle trade or not.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it yesterday after we talked about on Tuesday. We talked a little bit about it after we talked about, why am I blanking on what the big deal, the Giannis deal. We talked about the Giannis and then we talked about the Claxton.
Oh, we did already? Okay.
Yeah. Was there anything else you want to add?
No, I just guess I got to go back because I can't remember what you said.
We comped it to like holding. I held Claxton to a higher pedigree like 3 years ago when I like kind of thought of him as like the Evan Mobley-esque arc. And now it's kind of like, I don't know. I think the Bulls did well to just like get a dude when they've had front court depth problems for a while. And at least he can protect the rim. And they've never been able to protect the rim since the Vooch, Pat Williams, etc. Era. Zach Collins.
Yeah.
All right, dude, we can take a peek at last night's slate there. Your boy was at the soccer game yesterday, so did not get a whole lot in the streets. One word for the wise. If you plan on attending a World Cup match going forward, that they basically shut down ticket exchanges like 10-ish hours in advance of these games, and it's supposed to be 24 hours in advance of these games. So if you're trying to do the last minute ticket thing on like SeatGeek, StubHub, blah, 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 you can't. So like the tickets aren't available. So just FYI, if anybody's trying to attend some of these round of 32 games forward in your kind of like local markets there.
How is it possible to get tickets at all?
Yeah, you can get them on exchanges and stuff like that. Like I happen to have,
I guess like once that period hits.
I don't think so, because what it is FIFA cuts off their exchanges because they want you to run through their platform for exchange. The problem is they're just way too expensive on that platform.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, my people are tapped in to the early slate here. And we got Junior Caminero with a third home run off a position player. He thinks the morning slate is Jover. It's curtains for your non-Junior Caminero lineups right now.
That's going to matter. That is going to matter.
All right, dude, let's take a peek at yesterday's slate there. As I alluded to, did not get any in myself just because was attending the game and that sort of thing. And that shit started early out on the West Coast here, but Nezzy ran a show yesterday, talked about the 7th inning stretch and stuff. I'm going to go back and watch that one. Actually, I got a kick out of just thinking about you doing a 7th inning stretch right now, and how the landscape of starting pitcher has so drastically pivoted back to score one for the good guys, late pitcher being all that mattered. Because I'm thinking about these like super teams that could exist in the dinger right now. And the super teams are like Mizrowski, Cam Schlittler, Chase Burns, and they were all like, round 7 onward. And you put those 3 together, and those are the horses after you have 7, loaded position players in the first, 9 rounds or whatever. Score one for the good guys on how super teams are created.
Yep. I mean, it could not have played out more in that favor right now, considering everything that's happened to the Aces this season.
Yeah. Speaking of pitching, we will get into today's slate, but yesterday's slate, pitching didn't matter in all that big a way there. A nice start from Jump, but you could have got away with Savage. You could have got away with Drohans in one of these. There was also, if you scroll down, I think Ryan was in a couple of these too. Burrow was in there. Malley was in there. It was a pitcher did not separate kind of slate, but what you really needed to have was that William Contreras 30 ball. That was the big one there. And then you could have paired it up with Rake Bowers. And then you needed that a little bit contrarian Reds skinny stack where you got to Suarez and Steer as some of the highest scoring outfielders on the slate. Shout out to Falco here. Saw him in some of the lobbies this morning, having a really nice year. Very good, talented player on the site there. Brad's up here as well. Dan's up here. Codename Wolf's up here. T-Box, Brad at truly a who's who at the top of the leaderboard there. Nezzy. Thoughts on yesterday's slate and kind of how some of your takes panned out.
I didn't make any money. I don't recall on this one. No, I think I did like just barely scrape by, if I remember. But I had a ton of Brewers. I thought Brewers were the skeleton key, and I wasn't looking close enough at the Reds, which obviously, like, you see them littered across all these winning lineups. So that was a bummer. But overall low scoring slate. Falco kind of ran away with it there. But yeah, pretty low scoring slate there. I mean, even Brad top 5 with a 0 from David Hamilton. Just that kind of night.
Yeah, right there. David Hamilton 0 at the top of that lineup and still has a top 5. Yeah, good shouts there. I actually didn't even notice that. Yeah, low scoring night where there was a very few or very limited window of what the right answers to the test were.
Yeah. Trying to think.
It's good ethical hoops though. Good ethical hoops here. 3-1-1s, 3-1-1s, 2-2-1s, 3-2s. Love to see it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Cool, man. Did you play the night slate as well there?
No, I did not play the After Dark, I don't believe.
Let me take a little peek. Actually, you know what? I think there wasn't one. I think it was the early one. It was early Wednesday. Yeah, early Wednesday. There was not an After Dark. It was an early Wednesday slate. I knew I missed that one. Polymath up here takes that one down. Otto Lopez. Sneaky good year for Otto Lopez.
Bro.
But 24 fantasy points for him. This was a hodgepodge lineup that somehow gets to Watson, who was like the one-off home run play 2 days in a row, I think. And then Otto Lopez in there as well. Just knew all the best plays, Polymath.
Yeah, put some respect on Otto Lopez, man. He has just been insane this season. I mean, 130 WRC plus, but like the way it's the way he's doing it with the batting average that is just like so awesome and like a lost art in today's league. He's batting 340, so he's like Luis Ariz but with like power and can steal bases. I would love to see what his ownership is in the dinger, but I've been scooping him up in the 7th inning stretch.
Nice, man. Yeah, I guess kind of like a better portfolio of what people thought and wished Xavier Edwards would be.
Yeah. Who's also like doing fine by his own right.
No, but definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so fun. They are cut from the same cloth, like 100%.
Otto Lopez, good Canadian kid, still waiting for that base hit against the Americans there when I vividly remember a Friday night game in the World Baseball Classic there where they had runners on against Mason Miller and Otto Lopez at the plate.
Dominican Canadian. Wow. No way.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Huh.
Nezzy, any final thoughts on yesterday or today's early slate or anything baseball related as we push into today's baseball slate?
No, just like a ridiculous game happening in Kansas City, and then we still obviously have Giants and A's to take place there. So a lot of baseball left to be played. Just ready to push forward.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, that Royals lineup that came out today, woof, man. Like, I didn't think it was score no runs bad, but like without Bobby Witt, without Vinny P, without Miguel Garcia right now, man, just like crazy watered down iteration of that lineup right now.
Yeah, shout out to Run the Sims for getting me on 50% Ian Seymour. I'm like, who the hell is Ian Seymour, and why do I have 50%? But
and how many did he go here? Obviously, he's given up no runs. It's 9 innings, but how deep did he go?
Is he still in the game? I know he went 6 2/3, no hits, 1 walk, 7 Ks.
Wow. I'm not going to spoil it, but Tyler in the chat is saying there that Craig Kimbrell's on the hill right now to potentially close something out, but I will not say the words.
You can say no for a combined opener to bulk to Craig Kimbrell. I think we can jinx it.
That's some Houston Astros ass no shit.
Yeah. 2026 Craig Kimbrell just out here.
Oh, I love to see it, man. What up, Cold's rolling through there. All right, dude, let's talk about it, man. We got a 4-gamer. Shout out to Underdog for making it a 4-gamer. A little bit of weather in at least 2 of the games if we had made it a 6-gamer. So now we have a little bit of weather to deal with in the St. Louis game potentially. But are you concerned at all, Nez?
For
the St. Louis
I didn't see any weather to be worried about.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just saw a little bit of thunderstorms in the area. It was yellow on the Roth thing earlier. I don't think it's a sustained.
I see. I did not see that earlier today.
Nez forgot the cardinal rule. He forgot the principles. The cardinal rule is always weather first. 83 degrees there. Slight winds blowing in Busch Stadium there, and it is an orange. Not a great setup here, according to Roth, with the flood watch ongoing. It was also just kind of a little bit top of mind because it was playing into the Kansas City has a World Cup game right now as well, and there was like a rain delay the other day and playing through it thereafter, so might have an impact on the kicky slate as well.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll keep an eye out on this because obviously that is a big deal on a small slate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just wanted to start there, share it with everybody there. There was also a little bit of weather in one of the other games, but it's not on our slate. I can't remember what game it was now. I think it was the Detroit game. But yeah, neither here nor there. So 4-game slate. One of them is in Toronto with a roof, so we're all good there. New York is hosting the Cubs, the Mets, that is, with 13-mile-per-hour winds blowing out there. And then we have a renewed AL East rivalry, Yankees-Red Sox, with a slight wind blowing out toward the monster there with a couple good young pitchers on the mound there. One maybe top 5 pitcher in all of baseball there as well. And then we have a potential weather spot here with the D-backs and Cardinals, which looked like a pretty good spot for bats on both sides, just given the quality of pitching in that game comparative to the quality of pitching in all the other games there. Anything else to say on the macro there, Nez, before we look at the park factors and that sort of thing?
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
Cool. We will jump on over to the ballpark, pal. Just check things out here. Fenway playing a little bit up for run scoring and the doubles and triples there. The other environments are not on our slate. Busch Stadium playing a little bit down. Rogers Center net neutral with the roof closed. Citi Field playing okay. I think one thing that's like super notable on this slate is just some of the injury stuff, which is not normally a talking point for us in baseball, more so in football. But some of the injury stuff that I was noting was Juan Soto with the Q tag here, who got lifted They had a doubleheader there yesterday. He plays in neither of them, and there's rumors of a potential IL stint here. People thought it was just back spasms, and now it's like, oh, is he going to go on the IL with something back related kind of deal? So there's that one. We also saw Francisco Lindor return, so his ADP is kind of buried here. Dansby Swanson's been crushing. I just saw his name there. He had a monster day yesterday. He had like 11 RBIs on the day, like truly insane. And then the other one that stood out to me that nobody else was doing, but I did once or twice here, is a potential return for Corey Seager today. He still has the out tag. Maybe it's not worth, going for and risking with the out tag because you can just build lineups with him later once we get the lineup out because it is the first game of the slate. But I think it's a pretty good chance Corey Seager's back from the concussion IL today. Been reading kind of like mixed reviews, but just wanted to put that on people's radar.
Yeah, I'm seeing him in lineups, so projected lineups, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's back, but I'm not sure how much it changes the Gausman projection, which looks pretty strong.
Yeah. We put Gausman on the cover for a reason there because that lineup has been pretty bad outside of Wyatt Langford in recent memory. But Corey Seager obviously be a thorn in the side to that. But we'll talk about the pitching in a half second. Is there anything else macro we wanted to look at before run totals, Nez?
No, not that's on my mind. I mean, with the slate like this, we're doing a lot of combo matching.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. I was going to note Caleb Durbin got hurt at. Oh, that was my big one. So Boston is coming home from Coors Field, and they had some big time travel delays and mixed stuff. So if you want to play the I know ball, a little bit of rest in the favor of the Yankees there, who have been sitting in Boston waiting for them to return, and they had like a tough travel schedule back from Denver, missed a flight, and then left like this morning early, opposed to last night after the series.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty granular and deep in the weeds to care about, but it's just a little micro edge we'll throw out there for the people.
Hey man, Boston needs, they can't be having these little incidents happening to them right now. They're on thin ice. That whole clubhouse is just in disarray.
And Nez, I hope you're proud of yourself because Carter Jensen with a base hit there to break up the no-no that Nez jinxed and ruined there. Tyler is all over you for it.
Great for the best ball bags.
That's true. Great for the best ball bags. Indeed. I guess there's 2 runs on the board now, so it must have been a big one. Must have been a big swing.
Kimbrel walked a guy.
Oh, there you go. All right, dude, if we jump over to the Run the Sims here and work through the slate a little bit, obviously the redacted slate is different than ours. Ours is just 4 gamers there, but we're dealing with an 8 run total in that Texas and Toronto game, an 8.5 in the Mets and Cubs game, an 8 in that AL East battle, and then a 9 in that Cardinals versus Arizona game. Favorites on the slate being Toronto, Cubs, Yankees, and Cardinals at home. There, if we go to some of the simulated totals on the ballpark pal here, we'll see a couple of them in the 5s territory here. We see the Mets with a 5 there. We see a 4-8 for the Cubs, a 5-5 for the Yankees there, who have been basically the best lineup in baseball, even without Aaron Judge against left-handed pitching. So that bodes quite well to be dealing with the monster and to be lefty killers in a vacuum. And then the lower end of the spectrum there, which is kind of showcasing in the projection that you were alluding to, is this 3.5 to the Rangers, which is really boosting Gausman. But Gausman coming off of a rough outing last time up, giving up 7 earned runs in the first inning there. Freddie Peralta coming off the triple-double with 10 runs given up as well there. So some big-name pitchers with some recent tough results. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's a very that St. Louis game is just kind of really throwing a wrench in things right now. And there's, I think, some pretty strong chalk today for my money. And that would be Chicago going up against Freddie, who, he's coming off that bad outing. But he's been bad, not bad, kind of bad. Definitely not Freddie Peralta this whole season. So I like the Cubs, especially against Right-handed pitching, of course. Pete Crow Armstrong leading off. Gonna have a ton of him today. And then the Yankees against early, I still think is interesting even without Aaron Judge. I'm still looking at a lot of these Yankees just because like Ben Rice and Bellinger hit lefties pretty well. Obviously, Paul Goldschmidt out there, but it's not a loaded slate, especially if this Cardinals game doesn't play.
Yeah, well said there. Also interesting of note, that Cardinals game is the last game on the slate. It's really rare that a St. Louis hosting game would be the last game on the slate. So I thought it was worth noting because there's going to be nothing to swap to, even if it gets like postponed, delayed, whatever. It's just too bad, so sad, out tags across the board. So if you're really worried about weather, I mean, Xing them out of your pool isn't all that crazy, but just keep your ear to the street on the weather front there.
Too bad, so sad, out tag. That has a nice little ring to it.
Thank you. All right, dude. Yeah, I think we can get into the pitching here and break it down. Only 8 pitchers to choose from on the slate. Some decent name value, though, for short slates, just in general here, because almost all of them were guys that were getting drafted in the Dinger streets here. Cam Schlittler, who has arguably been the best pitcher in the American League this season. Kevin Gausman, who's had a really nice year with the exception of the last start out there. Freddie Peralta, who you just kind of poked some holes in there and had a rough outing thereafter. Matthew Boyd returning from the IL. So I'm a little bit concerned about, where his pitch limit could potentially be at here. Hasn't pitched since May 3rd in the big leagues. We did see him come back from the IL once before this year and go right into 84 pitches. But maybe they treat him a little bit more with kid gloves this time round, seeing as though he got injured shortly thereafter and was placed on the IL yet again. So maybe they kind of slow play this one a little bit. Mackenzie Gore, but he's been very good at home, been very bad on the road. So there's that one. Conley Early, who we can debate the peripherals till we're blue in the face, but has some prospect pedigree. But as we noted, that Yankees lineup against righties is so effing good. Zach Gallen, who is pure name value at this point and been very bad this season. And then Michael McGreevy can't keep getting away with this bullshit. But Arizona is a top 5 offense against left-handed pitching, but then against right-handed pitching, they're damn near bottom 5. So pretty stark splits there to tell yourself a story on Michael McGreevy as well. So there's 8 pitchers on the slate. They're all kind of household namey. What are your thoughts here and how you're laying out the pitching?
Yeah, Schlittler's my favorite today. Not necessarily a hot take. He's the 101, but projections are, I think, leaning toward Gausman in this spot. Both have a lot of strikeouts available in their opposing matchups. Gausman just gets the better park. Schlittler's in Boston, so that's the effect there. But I prefer Schlittler, man. He's just the truth. Just so fun to watch. Big fan of Cam. And then, the Gausman stuff's been very strange this season for him. He's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He has so many gems, not so many, but he has a couple gems mixed in with just some atrocious outings. And it's really hard to know what you're going to get from him. The one thing that I am pretty interested in is his splits, which are very starkly reverse. Okay. And even carrying back to last year, he held it down against lefties. This year, it's even it's much starker than last year, and they're going to throw a bunch of lefties at him. And this isn't necessarily a great lineup to begin with. So obviously, both these guys bona fide 1 and 2 here, and after that, it's a cliff. Okay,
cool. I love the Kevin Gausman reverse split stuff there. I'm kind of trying to garner a take on the fly here, just in terms of pitch mix usage stuff, because he's a big fastball split slider guy, and I guess it would kind of make sense that he would be a little bit reverse splitsy against lefties because of the way the splitter tails and drops away from left-handed hitters, opposed to the way in which it would fall off versus right-handed hitters. Because when you miss with that splitter elevated, it comes in on the hands, and that's usually an easier pitch to hit than something that's going too far away from you as a lefty.
Yeah. He's throwing the splitter like 10% more against lefties than righties.
That makes sense. That makes total sense then.
Yeah. Oddly enough, man, it's in this, you could maybe call this luck, but like his four seamer is what's like performing the best. You really don't see that often, where like, those are the hardest hit balls in baseball. Those batters have the most success against fastballs. His four seamer is getting better results than the splitter. Like very interesting.
Is he must be a fastball up guy now then. I haven't watched a ton of Gosman this year
or anything, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense if he was like a work the top line guy and then work the tunneling splitter off of that. And it just plays, that mix would play better against lefties than righties.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, good shouts there. In full agreement with you there, Nez, that it is 1-2 and then a cliff. Do you agree with Freddie Peralta being the start of the next cliff, or do you think there's somebody better on the slate?
No, I would probably play Mackenzie Gore first.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the right tail outcome potential of Mackenzie Gore. I mean, we were talking about splits. Like, they're definitely noteworthy how much better he's been at home than on the road. But that being said, it could be just a lot of noise because that's only been his home ballpark for a season now, or like half of a season, 3 months or whatever. But we do talk about Globe Life being like a good place to pitch these days comparative to when we saw that park come into the league.
Yeah. This Blue Jays lineup, a lot of strong righties, especially at the top, with Okamoto, Vlad, and Springer. But there's with what they are projected to roll out today, there's a lot of strikeouts and not a lot of threats to Mackenzie Gore, in my opinion. Like, after you get past the top of that order, it's pretty easy going. So I think Mackenzie Gore is, better than what he has looked this season so far. And if you want to just like arbitrarily, draw an endpoint dating back to his last start in May the 12th, he has 6 starts of 2 earned runs or less. The strikeouts have gone up. So whatever was bothering him or whatever he couldn't get right early this season, it seems like he may have solved that, because the Ks are up, the earned runs are down. Things look like they're trending up for Mackenzie Gore.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Respect that too. And then we also know that left-handed power plays better in that ballpark. And then like he's a traditional splits guy where that lefty stuff doesn't play all that well. So that means like, I guess Varsho's probably the only lefty guaranteed to be in that lineup today. And he's okay lefty, but yeah, I don't know, just something to think through there. Sure. Could also get a little bit watered down if Clement isn't in there. Clement's like pretty decent against lefties, which means like Luis Urias will be in that lineup or something instead. Alejandro Kirk is back in our lives. I think he's been back for about a week now. So a little bit less of the strikeout potential from the right side there, like just a really good contact guy. But that bottom half of the lineup is pretty quad AE, especially if you don't get Ernie Clement in there.
Yep. Yeah. I would anticipate all but one right-hander.
Okay. Cool. All right. This interesting question here. Is Cam Schlittler the 101 today, or do you like PCA more there? Are you prioritizing, we said there's a cliff after Cam Schlittler and Ryan Gosman. Are you prioritizing them in the top 2 there?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to have a good deal of Schlittler, because I think he could very easily separate, especially if Gosman, turns into a pumpkin once again. Then we're looking at a pretty frustrating outing where there's a chance Schlittler separates by double digits. It wouldn't surprise me. I can totally understand going PCA 101, considering he's likely to separate from most players projection wise today. And he's just been great. And yeah, I like PCA a lot today. So I think it's easily between him, Schlittler, and PCA.
Okay.
Like, without Yeah, without that Arizona and Cardinals game, you're losing so many like good bats, and then PCA just separates like crazy.
Yeah, good shouts there, especially at the outfield position, because there's like 4 Cardinals outfielders getting drafted right now. You know what I
Good
mean?
point.
Yeah, like the outfield position, it does kind of like fall off pretty starkly. So yeah, I think I'd throw my hat in the ring for PCA at 101 today.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The run the Sims projections on Schlittler are like really interesting. Like way more bearish than I would have expected for Cam.
Okay.
Like in the Pick'em lobby, Schlittler is sub 1x to go 6 innings, 0.8x to take the higher on 17 and a half outs, 1x on strikeouts at 6.5. Like the Pick'em lobby tells a pretty different story than what the projections say. The projections have him for 5.5 Ks. They have him for 16 to 17 outs, basically. So no guarantee that he goes into the 7th or finishes the 6th. Pretty, They're telling 2 very different stories here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well articulated there. Either way, I think it's kind of like a top 3 for us there, whether it's PCA or Schlittler at 1, and then you kind of go to the Gausman tier there next. Another thing with the outfield scarcity conversation is we could lose Soto on the slate as well, who's like a Q tag below there. So if you lose Corbin Carroll on this slate, you lose the outfielders from the Cardinals because of weather, and we lose Soto because he goes to the IL. I mean, PCA really separates at the outfield position thereafter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like big time.
Okay. Yeah, and then some of the outfielders that you have to then get to are double bubble leverage off the Cam Schlittler stuff. So it's kind of one or the other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dude. Mackenzie Gore for SP3 on the slate. Is it time for Freddie Peralta here? Do you like him more than Conley early or some of the other options?
Peralta and early are a toss-up.
Okay, sure. I mean, I hate playing left-handed pitching against the Yankees, but I can understand that this is not the same Yankees lineup, without Judge, without potentially, I mean, you're going to laugh, but potentially without Jose Caballero as well, who's been like pretty good against left-handed pitching this year. But yeah, I don't know. I hate playing lefties against the Yankees. They've just been so strong, especially with that short fence, big wall setup in Fenway.
Yeah. I get it. It's just like a way different Yankees team, obviously. And once you get to the bottom of that order, it's very, very bad. But Goldschmidt, Ben Rice, Cody Bellinger, that's no joke to get past. Dominguez there as well, who has been hitting left-handed pitching really well this year. He did not hit left-handed pitching well last year, but this year he is. I know, I get it. I totally get it. I'm like, you're absolutely right. You would prefer to not take lefties against the Yankees, but we're looking at potentially a 3-game slate, and Connolly early does have some decent stuff. It's just like you got to pick your poison here. If you wanted to go Peralta over him, I suppose I wouldn't fight you on that. Just the Peralta that we do know could emerge here. Yeah, he's facing the tougher lineup. That's what I would say Peralta is. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Respect it then. Any interest in Matthew Boyd coming back from the IL here? Could have a watered down Mets lineup with no Soto, although some of these Mets, profile pretty good against left-handed pitching. In particular, I thought Francisco Lindor was the probably most mispriced bat on the slate when I was looking at it earlier. Mark Vientos has good splits against lefties there. Francisco Alvarez has good splits against lefties. You could sell me this pen both ways on Matthew Boyd, but I'm a little scared. They only let him go like 75 pitches today.
Yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong with Matthew Boyd. Not jumping up and down to get him today, but you're gonna likely have to, and so at some frequency.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is.
Bo Bichette's been hot as hell too, and he profiles better against lefties as well.
Yeah, this is a very strong lineup against lefties. Like even Carson Benji's holding it down.
Okay.
Against lefties, like he's not been bad at all.
Yeah.
Like you said, Bo Bichette, Vientos, Francisco Alvarez, Wagaman in a small sample has been good.
Good shouts on Wagaman. Wagaman's kind of a fun scroll F down pick to click. A little bit of pop in that bat.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then we are a little bit scared about the weather conditions here. Is there any reason to get to Gallen or McGreevy for leverage purposes? And if so, which one would you play?
Weather side, these are SP 7 and 8, and no real reason to really get to them.
Okay. I mean, you could sell me this pen on playing McGreevy versus that lineup that's so much worse against righties today, but with the weather concerns, no thank you. Yeah. All right. We'll just X them out of the pool. Tight pool today with 6, but obviously the leverage is introduced by playing Mackenzie Gore and Conley early over that of Freddie Peralta and Matthew Boyd, and we kind of like bats more in the Mets and Cubs game than potentially some of the hashtag models would suggest. If you're cross-referencing with Run the Sims, they like Gosman over Cam Schlittler today. They like Conley early over Freddie Peralta, but just by fractions of fantasy points there. And then Matthew Boyd and Mackenzie Gore effectively projected for the same. So, kind of similar to our rankings with some slight tweaks and differentiation.
Yeah. It's eye-opening whenever you see the projections for Schlittler there, but I might IKB that a little bit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Our resident Wolves guy chiming in here that they still got Jaden McDaniels there. Also sharing us the tweet that we already shared on the program an hour after we did is very cute there for young Numi. Very cute, my friend. But he actually did share some alpha here, which would be greatfitpatriots.com in my estimation. PJ, aka PJ Washington, just bought a house or should just buy a house in Minnesota is what he's saying. I think that's greatfitpatriots.com.
Ooh, that would solve a lot of problems.
I like that a lot. Yeah, I would like that fit in a big way for them. Yes, Eggers commenting on the embarrassing loss for the Canadians there yesterday. I thought they played very well. I don't know, man. They're still pretty banged up, and they didn't start one of the midfielders that everybody kind of would expect to be in their next game out. And then no Alfonso Davies for a second game or third game in a row there. That's really hurting. But all in all, the World Cup experience was worth the price point and worth everything. But I was obviously a little bit saddened by the result, but nice to see the city just on fucking fire. And we did the whole march thing into the city yesterday, and it was very cool. Very cool, kind of like once in a lifetime on home soil experience. If anybody has the opportunity to go to one of these World Cup games, just bite the bullet and go, because you'll never remember that, $500 or whatever the hell the price tag might be in your city. You'll never think of that again there after the experience.
Yeah, no, I'm jealous. I'm certainly jealous. I'll probably regret not going, but I'm having plenty of fun just watching from home and just enjoying the USA's rise right now.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, great time for great time for North American football in general, man. Just Canada's on the rise in a big way, US on the rise in a big way, Mexico's been holding it down. It's very good time for they planned being the host nation pretty strong. I actually did hear yesterday that all those cities we just visited, well, you'd just been to Portugal, we went to Spain, blah, blah, blah. All those cities that we had just visited are the host nation for next World Cup.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that'd be a pretty fucking cool place to
visit. Spread out among that part of Europe.
Yeah, it's Spain, Portugal, and I can't remember who else.
I wonder what they'll call that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what they call this. I guess just North America World Cup. It's not technically. I'm sure there's a name for that part of the world. I didn't do too well in geography.
In geography, yeah. It's Morocco.
I knew where Pennsylvania was.
Good on you. It's Morocco that's hosting as well. So cool. Pretty sick little area there.
US still pretty pretty big dogs to win this whole thing, but definitely much shorter odds than I think the good people at Underdog Sports anticipated at this stage in the tournament.
Yeah, when they made the promo, did you talk about it on the show? What is the definitive promo? They're going to give away
$25 million to 25 people.
Wow,
$1 million each.
That's crazy, wild. And is it just random? Anyone on the app, or did you have to sign up, or how did it work?
No, they're giving it to me, and I don't know who else. Yeah, it's just random. It's just random. But all you had to do was just like play any pick'em. Didn't even have to be like soccer. Could just be anything. So
sweet, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What up to our guy Awin rolling on in for the slate here. Nez, there are 8 teams to choose from in terms of stacking. I think you're going to tell me your favorite stack on the slate is the Yankees, but I might be mistaken here. Who's your favorite stack on the slate?
I mean, I don't necessarily think the Yankees. I would probably lean Cubs before Yankees, but only because I'm just kind of like not talking about this St. Louis game. I'm really kind of thrown off by that. Because if we were, I would say the Cardinals. But I am very, very, very much concerned now. Like that doesn't look good. That doesn't look very good.
Yeah, no, it does not look very good. I did start my original stacks of the day as being Cardinals prior to the weather. Alec Burleson is stone cold chalk on the redacted side there. Lars Nootbaar, I don't think, because they haven't been on our main slate a ton, I don't think people understand how good Lars Nootbaar has been since coming back. He's been very, very strong there and just kind of like fortifying that lineup a little bit there and lengthening that lineup. Blaze Jordan's been pretty good since he got called up. Jimmy Crooks has been good since he got called up. I mean, not a guy that you're necessarily going to scroll to on our site to play like a backup catcher, but like just to lengthen that lineup, the cards have been pretty strong. Yeah,
Blaze Jordan, man. He's a tank.
Yeah, he's a big, beefy baseball boy.
As we say.
Cubs as Nez's favorite stack on the slate. Anybody you want to shout out in particular here? I mean, Dansby
Swanson.
Yeah, man.
Holy
look at these.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
You know what's so annoying about this, John? I am like the Dansby Swanson drafter. I always play Dansby Swanson in my Cubs stacks. And none of these games were on slates. I think maybe one game was, and then none of these other games were. And I'm just like, bruh, like, come on. I love a low-owned Dansby Swanson. And yeah, I couldn't earn any money off it during this stretch. So good for Dansby, man. Oh my God.
So cruel, man. So cruel.
This is ridiculous. That's a ridiculous stretch.
Dude, and he's been buried in the lineup too. Like he's been a wraparound stack guy. Like he's been hitting like 8 or 9 almost every day. Like they keep keeping Nico Horner above him. They keep, Bregman in the 2-hole, even when Dansby's smoking hot. And like Dansby's low key on pace for like, I mean, obviously yesterday really skewed rather his RBIs and home run potential totals for the season there. But like, I mean, he's on pace for, damn near 100 runs or like 90 runs from the 9-hole. Like that's fucking crazy.
John, in the last week, dating back to the 17th, he has an OPS of 1,700 in the last 7 days. He's averaging 478, 519 on base percentage, slugging 1,100. 339 WRC plus at the moment.
3
and
WRC plus that starts with 3, man.
That is ridiculous.
Eerily reminiscent of the year Sam Olsen won the Dinger when Dansby Swanson was the have to have it guy for the first week of the Dinger playoffs there. People forget I was in first place. People forget. If the Cubs are our number 1 stack on the slate there, Nez, who is our number 2 stack? I'm going to leave Dansby Swanson as the placeholder.
Yeah. Excluding that last game, like we said, I would probably throw Yankees next.
Well, you know what? Let's not exclude the last game just for the sake of everybody. I know we're really scared by it, but
All
just to visualize the stack, would it be St. Louis and then Arizona for you, or would you just like St. Louis and then insert next team?
I think it would be St. Louis then Yankees.
Okay, cool. So Yankees, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned here that Jose Caballero doesn't go today, but we could see Ahmed Rosario and Jason Dominguez hit high in that lineup today against a lefty, and they're going really underdrafted relative to their ADPs. You just talked about 1,300 OPS or whatever it was for Dansby Swanson. Look no further than Paul Goldschmidt versus left-handed pitching this year. Took Tyreek Skubal deep twice. The last lefty they faced. I mean, he's like 1,200 OPS guy against left-handed pitching this year, looking like vintage, 30 bombs or damn near 40 bombs and 10 steals, Paul Goldschmidt that we used to get in Arizona years ago there. So, yeah, I think Paul Goldschmidt is appropriately priced today, but if I'm looking for the scrolly F down pick to click from the Yankees, Ahmed Rosario and Jason Dominguez stand out to me as slightly underpriced relative to their lineup slot.
Yep. Yeah, those guys definitely. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, that looks like basically it. Well, you get their Volpe in there too, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah.
He hasn't been necessarily awesome this season, but he's, he does, better against lefties and righties. And, he can pop. We've seen him break slates for before. But yeah, just to reiterate, Paul Goldschmidt has an OPS of 1,300 against lefties this season.
I undersold them by saying 1,200.
Yeah, 1,300.
Oh my God.
That is ridiculous.
That is insane.
He's 38 years old.
Insane, man. Yeah, he was freer than free to anybody in baseball who wanted a platoon bat this year. And the Yankees just kind of like, oh yeah, you can come back and just rip off as many home runs as you possibly can.
Yeah, we'll take that.
What's his counting stats right now? How many home runs does he have on the season?
On the season, he's got. I lost it. Sorry.
Okay, hold on.
I'm stuck in the splits tool. I can't get out of it. I can only tell you what he's done against left-handed pitching. Sorry. He has 14 dongs.
All right, 14 dongs in 200 PAs, basically. Yeah, 211. Wow. Yeah, that'll play. That'll play at the big league level as a 38-year-old. Jesus. All right, like it there. And then would you put Arizona, if weather excluded, would you put Arizona behind these guys?
Yeah, it would be a toss-up between Arizona and the Mets, I think.
Okay, let's put the Mets in there then, because I said the most mispriced player on the slate was Francisco Lindor against a lefty whose ADP is 28.5. I really like this infield three-man of Lindor, Bo Bichette, and Vientos today. Those three stand out to me as a little hot pick-to-click trio there.
Yeah, I'll throw, Benji there too if you want to just make it a fourth. No AJ Ewing for me as a lefty. Doesn't offer a whole lot in my opinion, but Benji hitting leadoff with all those guys behind him, that makes a lot of sense for a stack.
Yeah, for sure. Wagaman's got some pop too. Francisco Alvarez hit 2 yesterday, 1 in each game. Nice. Yeah, 1 in each game yesterday. He's homered in 3 straight days there, and then he's better traditionally against lefties too. So catch him while he's hot. Also, people love to poo-poo on his numbers from last year. He played all last year hurt with 2 broken fingers and just played through it all year and didn't tell anyone, basically. Only the internal medical staff knew. So this guy, once upon a time, was Gabriel Moreno level catching prospect kind of thing. Those two were very highly regarded. Maybe it was more about, the defense than necessarily their bats, but everyone thought they'd be, good power hitting catchers at the big league level. And, maybe it's coming to fruition.
Yeah. He can hit. He's not a nobody.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to X some of those guys out there, keep the Mets in there and carry on here. Next up then would be Arizona, weather agnostic, but we'll adjust henceforth. Pavin Smith's back in our lives for 2 weeks now. Hasn't been great, but he has a handedness advantage. here if you want to play it. Nolan Arenado's come back down to life. Vargas has come back down to life, but he's still like halfway decent. Del Castillo could be in there for the handedness advantage, and it's a cheap outfield eligible bat if you want it. Anybody that you would, kind of shine some light on in particular here?
No, just like the guys that we know,
Yeah.
the classic trio: Marte, Perdomo, Corbin Carroll, Gabby Moreno. Though throw him in there too. I'd probably take Moreno over Perdomo today.
Okay.
And then
cool.
Nolan Arenado's just been holding it down. He's totally viable today. It's not like he's playing bad, and it's not like he isn't hitting righties. He's doing just fine. So, revenge game Arenado, revenge series Arenado here. Totally viable if this game goes.
All right, cool. The next team up for you there, Nez. We have limited options remaining. Blue Jays we could start throwing in here. Some of those right-handed Blue Jays. Boston against Schlittler's double bubble. Wyatt Langford's been scorching hot since he came back, so maybe we could do something with the Rangers here as double bubble off Gosman. Who stands out to you?
I think I would go with Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, just seeing like some of these numbers for these guys and the fact that they are playing at Fenway, I think gives them the edge to me over Toronto.
Sure.
And I guess you can weigh in. So this we're always like talking like in a vacuum with this stuff, but I'm going to give them a little bit of double bubble edge here because Schlittler's the 101. So and it's a small slate, so the leverage is easier to realize, and it's still going to be massive today. The ADPs for these Red Sox are in the dumps, but they got the wall. So, you can, bang somebody off the wall here against Schlittler. Easier said than done. Schlittler's obviously been great, but you do gain a lot if it does happen. And he's in a park where things, can easily go wrong if the ball gets in the air to left field. So for this stack, pretty self-explanatory. It's just like the top of that order there. Wilson Contreras anchoring it down. You can do Willie Abreu. I like kind of like Rafaela to, take advantage of the wall, pull something to that side. And then, short, small sample, but Nate Eaton too, not doing too bad since he's joined the club.
Yeah, that was the day that we hyped him. We're like, oh, he might lead off, might whatever. And he scored 30 fucking fantasy points at Coors when he was leading off.
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, so a lot more about the leverage than the team, but it's the leverage in the park.
We did this maybe 2 years ago, and Nate Eaton, and then the guy, I can't even remember his name right now. The Giants DFA'd him and then traded him for cash to Toronto, and we were like, this guy can't keep getting away with it thing. But Nate Eaton was a can't keep getting away with it stack guy for the Red Sox like 2 years ago. And we were like, this guy's killing us every damn slate. And we'd be like, this is the worst priced ADP. And then boom, lead off double. And then there was the guy for the Giants. Do you remember? He played shortstop for them. Tyler Fitzgerald.
Oh my God.
Tyler Fitzgerald killed us for like 3 weeks. And it was like, why is this guy having an ADP of 9 and going beside Aaron Judge? Like he's like a guy who's going to get DFA'd. And sure as shit, 2 years later gets DFA'd, but he killed us for like 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, that was just like the classic case of like ADP never being wrong, even when it's wrong. It's just like, yeah, why would you ever take 100% drafted Tyler Fitzgerald?
Yeah, right.
And then he just shoves it down your throat.
He shoves it down your throat because that's how the games are. Our guy Len Keefe left Fenway the other day because they've been so bad to watch Widow's Bay. I've been hearing people talk about Widow's Bay, and there's another show recently. I think Rudman was tweeting about it. There's 2 of them recently that people have been on. I was telling you that I'm playing catch up.
House of Dragon.
What was the other one? Sorry.
House of Dragon.
Oh yeah, I don't watch that
Game of Thrones thing.
Yeah, I was never a Game of Thrones guy.
I have to watch Widow's Bay. Haven't seen it yet. I really, really like that lead actor.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Okay, I don't know anything about him or it.
I don't know what his role is in Widow's Bay, but he was in a show called The Beast in Me, and it was like it's like a fine show, but he just plays plays a really good like scary man.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I recognize his face now that I'm looking at it. This one's an Apple TV. It looks like 10 episodes. Yeah, I was telling you that I just haven't watched a lot of shows, and like when I get time to watch stuff, I usually just watch sports or possibly watch sports while I'm playing poker or something like that. This is the one. Yeah, Cape Fear was the other one.
Oh, that's right. He was talking about Cape Fear. Yep.
Yeah. So I wrote those two down in my phone, but I'm playing catch up on Severance right now. I told you I finally capitulated and watched, I think 5 episodes on the plane. And I was like, fuck, everybody was right. It is pretty good.
It is really good.
Yeah. You just got to give it a chance. I mean, it's a lot of the same scenery and like those white walls and whatever. So it's easy to like, if you're not paying attention to the show, to just be like, ugh. But yeah, I found it pretty good.
I'm glad you liked it. It's a fun show. Yeah. Well, we'll have to talk more once you catch up.
No spoilers just yet for you, boy. But we'll talk about it once I get through at least season 1. Maybe we'll talk about it when I get through season 2. All right, dude. Boston for the leverage would be the next stack there. Naming some dudes such as Nate Eaton there, and actually focusing on some potential right-handed stuff to utilize the wall. Like Wilson Contreras has simply been their best player this season. And then Toronto and Texas, where we are primarily playing pitching. But yeah, man, not a lot of strikeouts in that Toronto lineup at the top there. If you want to play some of the righties, George Springer kind of jumps out to me. He'll be a bit of a projection darling. Okamoto's like stone cold chalk on the redacted sites there against the lefty. Yeah, I kind of like Nimmo. I kind of like Wyatt Langford, who's been scorching hot. And then if you want to scroll, I do think there's a good chance Corey Seager plays baseball today. And I think that's really sneaky. So anybody that you want to highlight on those two teams, are they full stack worthy or not?
I think so, just given the size of the slate. But I would. It does seem like on these smaller slates, it is sort of less good, not quite as good to onslaught. You kind of need like the nuts. So yeah, it's really tricky because nothing here really stands out to me. But in terms of like looking like an awesome play, so it's a small sample, man. But like Mackenzie Gore this season is struggling pretty. He's struggling against left-handed hitting, and obviously as a lefty, you wouldn't expect that. And he held it down last year, so it could be small sample. But lefties are kind of lighting him up right now, and he's not getting them out. He's not striking them out, which isn't totally like unheard of. That lefties can't strike out lefties as well as they can righties. Like that, it seems counterintuitive, but that's a thing. And he's walking lefties way more. So something's kind of up there. And I can't like get a let me check last 30 days if that's changed. It's gotten better over the last 30 days, I think, as you would expect, since I'm claiming that he's on the up. That being said, he's only going to see one lefty. It's going to be Varsho. So I just think I wouldn't like stay away from Varsho. If you're going to play this, I think nobody really wants to play lefty.
Okay.
So I think Varsho's like, an outfielder to add here. Springer's had a really weird year. He's been pretty bad against right-handed hitting. Even Vlad's had a pretty weird year. I guess Springer's in better recent form than Vlad is.
Vlad just doesn't hit home runs, man. He just doesn't lift the ball. It's insane.
Yeah, it's concerning.
He needs to go to the school of Adam Dunn, and someone needs to just tell him, like, nobody cares if you hit 300, bro. Nobody cares if you hit like 290. Like, just go ahead and hit like 230 and knock out 40 with like an effortless, like, his swing, like in a vacuum, was always like kind of long. And it was like, just like the barrel stayed through the zone so long. And that's why he was like, and he would hit stuff super hard, like pretty effortlessly. And his exit velo is always really good, but the launch angle is terrible because it's such a steep approach on the swing. It's like, man, if you just told that guy to like drop his shoulder, flatten the bat through the zone, and just go full like Mike Trout and or Aaron Judge torque up, like he'd be a better baseball player. And that's weird to say about a $500 million player who hits damn near 300 and hits nothing but piss missiles. But it's like, dude, if you hit 260 and hit 35 plus out every year, like except for the year at Dunedin, he hasn't done shit, man.
Yeah.
In terms of home runs.
I've never been a big Vlad guy, you know?
Yeah.
Truly, just never really have been. But
I was pretty adamant.
Honestly, I'm not like very interested in the Blue Jays today, to be honest. Okay. I think Varsho's like the fun way to play it.
Okay, cool. Respect that take. Yeah. I was pretty adamant last year when everybody was debating like who you would give a bigger contract to with Kyle Tucker and Vlad. I was pretty adamant that it's just like super obviously Vlad because of like the way in which he would age. Like the Kyle Tucker profile is just like a classic. Like he's a very strong, good baseball player, but like as soon as the aging curve hits in, like a lot of stuff would start to drop. Like we've already seen Vlad at like the fattest, laziest, worst version of himself, and he still can just hit anybody, right? So it's like a profile that would just like age so gracefully. And like I think when you're trying to go like, hey, who are you giving 8 years to? You give it to the dude who ages, you know, kind of like Pujols-esque, and that would be, you know, Vlad, especially when he was like, you know, you're not giving him the contract at 30, you're giving him in like the mid-20s. Like it just feel better, but like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like he's got to learn to lift the ball. It's crazy.
Yeah. I guess it does make sense in terms of Tucker versus Vlad. I just feel like Tucker had the greater chance of giving you surplus value for the money. I agree with you there. More often, because like with the first baseman like Vlad, and you're not getting a ton on the base paths either. I thought it was going to be kind of difficult for him to do much of anything to really pay off that contract. But yeah, Toronto had to do what they had to do, and yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, big face of the franchise guy too, where it's just like, you know, he's got those Canadian roots. He wants to be there forever. Like that stuff kind of matters, especially to like a small market, you know, only Canadian franchise, right?
Yeah, for sure. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take my allotted restroom break.
All right, you're gonna miss the first pick of this draft, baby.
No, I trust you to set us up nicely. I'll get us home.
Can't wait to screw this up for him. All right, let's hop in here. I also wanted to we got 2 more spots in this draft. What up, Big Snacks, rolling through there. I wanted to just kind of set the tone, or maybe that's the wrong word, like the lay of the land for like the dynamic of this slate. Like we had a 3-gamer this morning, and granted it's like, you know, 70%, or it's not even that. It's like 50% done here, but you can really see the value of like, hey, when one dude separates on the slate, like what follows thereafter, that like a bunch of 100% owned guys are mixed in here, and there's like a have to have it guy. And that's on a slate that even where like one team had like big time outlying scoring, like 13 runs here, 5 from the Pirates. And like, we're still in a situation where the non-onslaught stacks are probably going to be needed in some capacity, because we are A, trying to get different, and B, we need to be closer to the nuts on like a 3-game slate. So just wanted to articulate that before we go into this contest, where it's like 4 games that may get cut down to 3 because of the weather there, that like, yeah, you got to be way closer to perfect than on those 9-game slates, right? Because the leverage doesn't go as far. Let's take a look on the X machine there to see if any of the lineups are out for this slate just yet. I can't imagine they are, but we might have some nuggets. Okay, cool. We do have some lineups. Okay, we got 2 lineups by the looks of it there. So we got Yoshida leading off here in that Red Sox game. Caleb Durbin, who has the Q tag, is in there and does give you a little bit of right-handed power. You know, whether that's true or not, gives you a little bit of right-handed power in that lineup. So we add another outfielder to the player pool with Yoshida, and Yoshida leading off, good on-base guy there. I think we go ahead and take Paul Goldschmidt. Nez cited the numbers against left-handed pitching there, like 1,300 OPS there. So we'll take Goldschmidt with our first pick, and then we'll chime in with what Nez wants to do here.
Yeah, Goldschmidt was a smash.
a little Springer and Vlad stack there. We've scared people firmly off the weather here, so now Corbin Carroll's coming back to us. Yeah, thoughts on where you want to go here?
Belly, or just like scroll for a Met?
Let's scroll for a Met. I kept saying that Lindor's the most mispriced dude on the slate. I really like Lindor versus lefties. He was people forget he was tied with Kyle Schwarber last year for home runs. He was tied with Kyle Schwarber. Was it last year or the year before in terms of home runs off left-handed pitching? It was like him, Schwarber, and Ketel Marte were like the three best against lefties in terms of home run hitting. Now home runs aren't everything, but Lindor's back.
Yeah, Lindor being back is obviously like a huge deal for this team. And yeah, I think people kind of forget who he is. So he has no business being at like the 28 ADP. She should be going right here. So yeah,
no, fully agree with you.
Don't wait. There's no value in CLV in baseball. There's
good shots. Yeah, which kind of makes the Corey Seager out tag play a little less interesting, whereas like if this was a baseball slate or a basketball slate rather, we would be like, oh man, we're pulling the wool over everybody's eyes right now.
Yeah, it's hard to separate the ADP value, but
my guy wants me to draft Luis Torrens. Is this real life there? We didn't get one of the top 4 pitchers on the slate there. Mackenzie Gore goes there, Nez. So we could probably just keep scrolling with this narrative. Maybe a Bo Bichette to round out our infield.
Yeah, I like Bo Bichette for that. The outfield just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like we don't necessarily like we get what we get, but getting a Lindor Bichette stack is pretty nice. Let's just like play the best right-handers today.
Yeah, why not, right? The bash is over. Nice. We'll see the viewership tick up ever so slightly here. Goazy Cards is saying 7th inning stretch. Not today. Nezzy did one yesterday behind the paywall. If you guys are interested in the 7th inning stretch, I promise we'll do another one together. I believe that locks on Monday or Tuesday next week. Monday?
It locks like Monday.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe we can get one in on Monday together there. We do not have to take pitcher because this guy did not take pitcher and everybody else has a pitcher. It's going to be outfield only for us. I'm thinking one-off here and then maybe a stack. I like Wyatt Langford today, dude.
I like that call.
I like a little Wyatt Langford pick to click. We talked about the reverse splits nature of that righty-righty matchup. Langford's been mashing since he's been back. Play him while he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, keep mentioning it, but I mean, the first person that I saw, claim that Wyatt Langford was back for real was Owen over at Run the Sims that does their projections.
Right on.
Looking at swing speed, seeing the changes that were made before the injury, during right before he got hurt, and then now, it looks real. So that would be good because I have Langford bags.
Nice, perfect. Let me remind you guys, if you guys are interested in some of the best baseball projections around, let me see here if I can do this and see here if we can do. Oh, this is maybe too many tasks.
Uh-oh. You're on the clock.
Oh no, too many tasks at once, Nez.
Let's get a pitcher.
There we go. What do you think about that? All right, Conley early there. As you guys note, this beautiful ticker that I just made at the bottom of the screen, runthesims.com, 20% off badge, promo code badge. I'll make a good one in the future there. But if you guys want to use some of the projection stuff, we did talk openly about their Conley early projection being higher than market. He is SP3 according to them. We get him here as SP5 on the slate. We like him a little bit more than Matthew Boyd. Also, we were stacking against Matthew Boyd there, so we didn't really want to play him here. Nez, we can go with another one-off. We could go with I think Jason Dominguez is available. No, he went. Okay, Awen took him, so we're shut out of luck there. We could take one of these lefties.
Benji gone?
No, we could take Carson Benji.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's my suggestion.
All right, perfect. So there's our little 3-man Mets stack there. And then we have 2 one-offs. I just wanted to note, this was something I was thinking about the winner last night, Nez, is something I noticed Falco doing, and not to share all of his secret sauce, but I just kind of share my thoughts as I see them on the app or whatever. Something I've been very noticing and cognizant of with Falco, who's been very good at baseball this year, both him and Kobe Goat 24 or whatever, in their drafting, they do something where they do like an early pitcher, then they do a 3-man stack, and then they do mispriced leverage one-offs. So like last night, the one-offs that were in the stack, whereas most people build the inverse of that. So they go, okay, I need my 2 one-offs early, and then I do a contrarian 3-man stack, if that makes sense. So he kind of flipped the build a little bit in yesterday's lineup, where, let me see here if I can bring it up real quick for the people so I'm not completely talking out of my ass. Slates, Wednesday's main slate here. So you guys could see he goes with this stack, right? This 3-man Reds that does have a contrarian piece in it. And then Jose Contreras, he uses Savage as the 100% owned early ADP guy. And then his 2 one-offs.
Are you sharing it? Because we can't see it.
Oh, yeah, I am. This has happened a couple times with this site to me, where I click on it and then it doesn't show on the screen for whatever reason. It happened earlier too, and I had to unshare it and then reshare it. Sorry, give me 1 second here. I don't think it's any issue of Chris. I think it's just the way in which it displays. So the winner from last night here, right? So what he does is he goes early pitcher with Savage. He goes, that's my guy. He's going to be 100% owned, but he is ADP 10. I don't know if he was SP1 on the slate or not. I imagine he was, but that's neither really here nor there. Then he goes with his 3-man contrarian stack. He probably took, Willem Contreras. He probably took first, ADP 19. Then he goes the 3-man contrarian stack where it's 19%, 38%, 75%. And then his one-off is, a stud in Mookie Betts, who's not really playing like a stud this year, but is only 19% owned. And I think when most people would build this team, they would go, okay, I'm going to go Savage, and then, someone who's got a top 10 ADP. Then I'm going to build the 3-man stack that has 1 leverage piece within it. And then I'm going to take 1 contrarian one-off. And the inverse of that is going, hey, these are 2 guys that I like their plays. I'm getting the discounted ownership on them already. And then I'll do the 3-man like this. So like not having a quote unquote stud in your lineup that's 100% drafted when you're building these 3-1-1s is pretty intelligent in my estimation. And it's just something I've been noticing. He does it a lot. And Seedmeister does it a lot as well.
Yeah. I mean, just leverage on leverage there, and he's separated by over 10 points. So very strong stuff.
Yeah, exactly, man. Respect it. All right, cool. What NFL draft are we going to be doing today? I don't know. Nez, what do you think? I'd like to play catch up in the BBM streets, especially after we drafted such a nice one last time, but I would hear you out on a pit bull. I would hear you out on something of the quote unquote regular format today.
Yeah. There's still some poodle left to draft if you want to do that.
I'd rather do a higher price point if we're going to do a stream one. Let's do Pitbull or BBM.
Try to fill a Pitbull.
All right, let's see. Pitbull is good to try and fill on stream because there's usually spots open and people are waiting to try and get volume in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there will be plenty of auto drafters in here.
All right, 2 more spots for the people. It's easier to get friends and family in the Pitbull lobby than it is to get in the Poodle and or BBM lobby.
Yeah, Poodle is somewhat, and maybe BBM's easier than Poodle right now because everybody's trying to get those crammed in. But the reason the only reason Pitbull maybe isn't is because all the friends and family have already maxed.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, let me see here. Our guy Len Keith sent over some potential pick of plays here
in the chat for people.
Oh, you posted it already?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay, cool. So we got some Ivory Coast goals and assists, and then this is all from one match. and then a Curacao goal and or assist on the other side. So we're cheering for some goals in this one. And we can use a 30% boost daddy on that one. 25 gets you 1463. I'll share the link in the chat there from our resident scroll master, Len Keith.
Love to see it, man. Gotta play the Len Keith plays whenever he gives them out.
All right. Let's see if we were able to fill this yet. We got one more spot in the pit bull. One more spot as I fire up the solver draft assistant for the people. Also, as that Run the Sims code goes across the bottom here, we also have the badge code on the solver there. If you guys want to sign up for the solver for draft season here, it's 20% off as well with the promo code badge there. But also, if you guys are playing in the best ball streets here and you just want to dabble for your first time, go ahead and upload your exposures there and use the Best Ball Explorer to kind of manage your portfolio a little bit. Drop that in the chat for everyone there. That is free of charge. So when you guys see us use the draft assist on stream, that one is the one you have to sign up for and pay for with promo code badge. And if you want to just manage your portfolio like Nez was working through on the Solver Series video, go for it. Eggers, wow, he's got one pity left to rip too, but he can't get in here because he is in a non-legal state right now. You hate to see it, my friend. You
That's
hate to see it. We got to put this. What's going on here? Did we lose Nez?
I'm here.
Oh, you look like frozen in time.
I'm looking at my text from my wife.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, deep in thought. One more for the pit bull here. Give me your account, Eggers. I'll draft for you. Cannot condone that kind of behavior.
You don't want that. What'd you think of my tweet today that I tagged you in?
Good rep.
What did you think about the video itself?
I have no idea what that was and who that was.
John, that was Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk's just throwing money on the floor now?
It was a get ready with me video. And he had his bag, had just a little too much cash in it, had to put it somewhere, so he threw it on the floor. Now he's good to go. What do you think, man? Do you think NFL teams are seeing that? Like, oh man, can't wait to bring this dude in. I bet he's going to be really awesome to work with.
Okay, let me unpack two things here. What is a get ready with me video?
Like women usually are doing them where they're like putting on makeup and yapping while they get ready, or getting dressed, yapping while they get ready. So it's called Get Ready With Me.
Okay.
While I da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, so I'd be like, yo, I'm putting on this really exclusive $10 red Bauer hockey t-shirt today.
Yep. While talking about something.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So he's now making these. Is this like a common occurrence for him?
Nope, just something that he decided to do today. He's making a lot of videos, but that was the first time he decided to throw roughly $10,000 on the floor.
And he just gets a bag and throws a bunch of cash on the floor.
I mean, that's what he did in that video. It's not like he does it all the time. That was the first time he did anything like that.
What a dickhead.
Yeah, dude, he's legitimately crazy.
Oh my goodness. And then what was the whole scale thing? I saw people tweeting about the scale thing while I was away too. What was that? That he's down to playing weight?
He's at 208 right now.
Okay. All right, perfect. We filled that bad boy up. It's a great description. If you want to watch someone live the most normal life, but the camera is like 10 feet away from them.
Could you imagine like just holding the camera for that?
I cannot. You know what? Actually, one thing I wanted to well, I mean, I've just been thinking about recently, and I've been having a lot of conversations about like, our travel and stuff like that as I see buddies as we come back into town and stuff like that. I was very, I found the Spanish culture very admirable. I'd been there a couple times before, but it really resonated with me this time. Found it really admirable. The that's a bad word. The lack of screens, like just in general, being present in social scenarios. So not many like phones on the table when people are like out for drinks. Not many people like, taking photos of each other, selfies, recording, like not a lot of that stuff. Even in like the urban city hubs like Madrid and stuff like that, just culturally, just like being like, whoa, this is distinctly different. And then comparatively, like doing the march to the soccer game yesterday, it was more like showcasing that you're doing the march was more important than the actual march itself to a lot of people that were present.
Nice.
Yeah. And I just thought of that in relation to, some guy videotaping himself as he gets fucking changed in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
they're different settings and everything, but like, yeah, I think there's a lot of takeaways from Europe socially and whatnot we would be better off for if we applied here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The screen culture was really interesting too, because like, there's such a vast like socialization culture, like especially in evenings and stuff, like everybody gathers outside of the home opposed to like going home and like just sitting with their wife, child, whatever, and watching a screen or just hanging out. So like, it's pretty cool to just see that like when people go out and hang out and socialize, even when World Cup is on and even when like the Spain games were on, let's make this pick here, Nez. We got the big 3 wide receivers staring us in the face. That is kind of like the mental tear break before the running backs. Which of the 3 do you like?
I jam Amon-Ra.
Okay, interesting. Sounds good to me. I mean, he's definitely like the quote unquote safest of it and the flooriest of it, but like, we love the indoor factor. We love the playoff schedule with the exception of outdoor at Chicago in week 17. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But just to close the thought there was kind of like they didn't have screens in restaurants and they didn't really have screens in like certain bars unless it was dedicated for like sports only bars. Like the vast majority of restaurants we go to in North America, like there's a screen every which way your eyes look, right? Like just because, the prevalency of sport, but even during their biggest sporting event, everyone brings in like televisions, like they wheel them in for like a game on like basically like a wheel eel or a easel rather, and then put it outside. You watch the game and then they wheel it away. It's not like the dining experience goes hand in hand with the prevalence of screens, which I've just found very refreshing, It is for sure. Like that would be a great thing to have taken place here, but that will like never happen. I like the big dog. I could be talked into Ken Walker. I could also be talked into a piss boy start. What do you like?
It's got to be Ken Walker or Derrick Henry.
Okay, let's go Henry then.
Yeah, I love Derrick Henry. I'm like, I just keep like shuffling between those running backs there, except for Chase Brown. Not gonna lie, I think Chase Brown is not a good pick personally. Okay.
Sure.
I just don't think the touchdown equity is strong enough for him, man. Like, and who knows what his backfield split will look like? Like he does not profile as a workhorse. He didn't get the workhorse role until like later in the season, and maybe that sort of coincided with Joe Burrow's return. But I feel so much better about all those other running backs than Chase Brown. Achane sort of on the outside looking in as well. Yeah, Hampton and Barkley too. I'm sort of like struggling with. I know people really like Barkley. I'm considering getting more Barkley. And just there's talk that they're going under center more in Philadelphia, which would be a lot better for Barkley. He has much better numbers under center than like from the pistol, which could just be missing a correlation there in terms of like why they'd be under center. But at any rate, yeah, Hampton is like kind of like the favorite one to fade for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get it, but like,
yeah, well, I kind of get it.
I think you can really, really miss a big season if you're wrong.
If you're wrong, yeah, I do agree with that. You could definitely, but I guess people are pattern matching with like the McDaniel stuff and like his, using multiple backs and then them having like the speedster guy and like them having like, actually Mostert was pretty speedy in his own regard, but like people like kind of pigeonholing Hampton as like, oh, he's the Mostert / Jeff Wilson of this offense. Whereas the other guy, like, Vidal and they liked Vidal last year and they used him a lot at the tail end when Hampton was banged up there. But like Keaton Mitchell pattern matching of like, he's more like Achan than Hampton is, like,
Yeah. And people aren't convinced Hampton is good. I think Hampton is really good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also part of it. It's a personal thing, I guess.
Dude, I kind of like Brees here.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of drafting a little boring these days where, if there is like strong ADP value and I don't have any like super strong takes, I take the ADP value, but I like Brees Hall.
Yeah, the only hole you could poke in that was that Henry and Brees had the same bye week, and it's like how different is, ETN versus Brees there, but yeah, I don't know. Brees, I don't really see Brees fall all that often. We see a little pull up here of Ladd, which kind of made it possible.
Yeah, you really don't see Brees go here and go easy cards. Just no fear whatsoever taking Malik Neighbors.
Yeah,
I still don't think Malik Neighbors plays the first 4 weeks, but
yeah, I'm kind of in your camp as well. Like I know what he can do in like limited windows and limited samples, and it's classic better in best ball to miss the first 4 weeks than the last 4 weeks. But yeah, I'm pretty fucking scared. I'm pretty scared.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, let's go like roster construction aside. Like this whole bracket of the draft, I think there's like 2 pockets that I find like super interesting right now. It is basically after the Justin Jefferson, because you could get super concentrated on any of these guys that you want, all the way from Cook to Rice, basically. I mean, you could stretch it as far as McBride as well. I want to just like ADP aside, roster construction aside, just get our favorites in that tier. And then I want to talk about the same range, but in like the 3rd and 4th round after we make this pick.
Okay.
Igbuka's here. Adams is here. Scata boys mount up. Luther Burden. Terry sets up a potential stack. Who do you like?
I like the top 3 there.
All right, let's take Igbuka. I never take Igbuka, so let's take Igbuka.
I'm warming up big time to Igbuka.
Okay.
I think there's a pretty like valid bull case for Igbuka, which is that one, he did kind of suffer an injury there in the middle of the season, and that's when the efficiency dropped off big time for him. The idea that Baker is in a contract year and was hurt last year as well. He's kind of always hurt, but he was banged up last year.
Yep.
So just kind of like those factors, and no Mike Evans. I think Chris Godwin is just dust. Coming off that injury and his age, like I do not think that he has like very strong outcomes in his in his range of outcomes in the future in this year. So yeah, Buka probably the lead target earner by like a pretty decent margin. Baker balling out because he's kind of a vindictive guy,
Yeah, sure.
They probably ran a little bad last year. Like I think that this, like wouldn't be surprised if Baker like returned and was like, doing peak Baker things that we saw 2 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
And if that's happening, Buka's going to be big benefit bigly from that.
People forget that like the first 5 weeks of the season last year that people were clamoring for Baker for MVP.
Yeah.
Like his odds went like skyward, right? Everyone was scared that like Liam Cohen leaving would be like the death of that offense. And then all of a sudden Baker was just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm in the MVP conversation until he had a couple bad games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And got banged up. Okay. I want to have that conversation about the 2 pockets of the draft. and where this is stemming from was more or less your Chase Brown take is kind of what I'm getting at here. Because like that pocket, you have the ability to take whoever the fuck you want, other than maybe James Cook, because he doesn't really fall all that much out of that little pocket of the draft there. So if you had to go full Leonardo DiCaprio point at the TV meme on like who is your guy in that like Cook through Walker running back tier, who would you point at?
I think Ken Walker.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about what could be for him.
Okay, let's pause for 1 second. DJ Moore's here, Tootin's here, Price is here, and then a whole bunch of wide receivers. I pick Tate.
Let's do Tate. I don't do a lot of him.
All right. Like, wouldn't it just be like Dayball went and was just like, hey, our offense is bad. Let's just pepper the shit out of Malik Neighbors. He's our talented rookie, right? What if we just apply that same principle but to Tate and the price tag's better?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, why don't they just go like, hey, this guy's a freak. The offense didn't move last year. If Cam Ward go Burr, it has to go Burr through Cardinal Tate.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance that Tate smashes. I mean, he was the first wide receiver off the board after all. I mean, it's not often that the first wide receiver off the board is available at this part of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward has plenty of arm talent. Brand new situation. I mean, you really do kind of have to look at this as like a brand new team. And I think for the most part, the market is. I'm definitely scared of Carnell Tate. I don't take him a lot. I definitely don't reach to take him. Like if I was drafting by myself, I'd probably take Tootin there, but I don't have strong opinions over those wide receivers over him other than maybe Christian Watson.
Okay. Jordan Tyson is here for us. Marv's here for us. Parker Washington, or we could do the elite quarterback thing.
I would probably say quarterback or Tyson.
All right, let's go Tyson.
Okay.
Let's push the quarterback thing. It gives us another out at quarterback. All four of our wide receivers are still stackable with their starting quarterback. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, I like Tyson a lot, obviously. I'm just, of course, really hoping, fingers crossed, that this dude can stay healthy. Not off to a great start in that regard. But, yeah, he's clearly just like, he just so obviously has this insane skill set about him that if it's all put together, I mean, he's gonna ball out, dude.
Respect it. Okay. Let's go back to that little pocket. I'm hearing what you're saying on Chase Brown. Games that Chase Brown had more than 19 carries last year, week 1 and week 16. End of list.
Yeah.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
There's just like no, like obviously any given week, anything can win, like literally anything can win.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like easily like the least likely to kill you in that range. And sure. I think has like of the lowest chance of finishing as RB1 overall in that range.
Okay.
The team throws way too much. And yeah, I like maybe he gets a larger role this season. I'm not sure, but the touchdown equity for him, I think, is so much lower than all these other guys.
Okay. I'd push back on the touchdown equity thing because Burrow only played like 5 weeks last year, and this is a 9.5 win team with a bad defense, presumably bad defense. So I would say that like that to me on paper tells me that these guys are gonna, for them to win 10 games, their offense go Burr, and that would raise the touchdown equity of your lead back. I guess okay. So what I'm kind of getting at is bull case, bear case here. Yeah. But you're right, man. Like he played more than 75% of snaps 3 times last year.
Yeah. It's spooky.
It is spooky. Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft. I'm not really in on Lemon.
I like Kraft.
Alec. Yeah, you think Kraft's more important than like Rico?
Yeah, just see what comes back.
Okay.
Kraft is like such a freaking stud, dude.
Yeah, you love Kraft.
He's so good.
Yeah, Tony Squares was waxing poetic about him today as well.
And he can wax poetically for sure.
Good shit. Pete's newsletter wrote up a little bit of a bear case on Jordan Reed and like why, Golden is kind of more appealing relative to ADP price tag.
Haven't read that yet.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. I don't know if I believe it yet. We're kind of in that like time of the year where, our thought processes are kind of like how you and I are just talking out loud right now. Like we're just talking about Chase Brown. Like, we're learning on the fly. I'm not coming in here with preconceived notions and definitive takes. I'm going, Leg Up's telling me this, Solver's telling me this, ETR's telling me this, articles telling me this, Coach Speaks telling me this, and we're hashing it out together, and we're not screaming takes down people's throats. And
exactly.
Yeah, I'm very open-minded at this point in the calendar.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to be. I'm getting a good blend of, teams and takes, trying to incorporate my, my own takes and other sources as well, just to make sure that I have a really, really, balanced portfolio. Okay, so do you like Rico more than RJ Harvey?
I kind of think I do, but I'll be sold that pen.
I just like RJ Harvey more, but Rico's totally fine.
All right. Okay, this is my bro science on Rico.
Okay.
I saw multiple 200-yard games for him when he had the offense to himself. I saw a big breakout under Mike McCarthy in the past. I saw Mike McCarthy then go out and get his guy. Yeah. I see opportunity for Rico. I see a clean path to bell cow if one guy goes down in that backfield. Harvey, I know he scored a bunch of touchdowns last year. He just feels more of a specialist with more red flags to like breaking the contest.
Yeah, I think he has the easier path to do it. Like they just drafted Jonah Coleman in Denver, and they brought back J.K. Dobbins. So it's definitely tough. Like Gainwell did his thing, obviously with Jaylen Warren healthy. The offense is going to be better. I think the Broncos will be, not a hot take. Broncos are going to be better than the Steelers, just all around, including offensively. And just the Harvey profile, like we were drafting this guy here like last year. And,
right.
I kind of think of him as like a Trevion Henderson bet. He has worse competition in front of him than Trevion does. Like Ramondre is better than J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins was fine. He was like not unbelievable last year. Like, yeah, coaches like him. He's not going to like, I don't think totally dust RJ Harvey, man. He was not that good. Harvey, when put in the situation to play, like was pretty damn good and showed the explosiveness, has a passing down role, but the protection is the problem. Like, I think Harvey just has like really exciting ceilings that we would typically be taking like where Trevion goes, but we're taking him down here right now.
Okay. All right. I can see it both ways. I respect the take, man. Yeah. I think it's pretty sharp analysis, like just in a vacuum.
But I'm not going to like say he is a much better bet than Rico, like
sure,
especially in a pit bull.
I think it's quarterback time for us, Nez, but I would hear you out on Golden and setting up the Love double.
I do love Goff. If you just want to like get him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's a JMO. I don't think the JMO drafter is going to be on that side of the board, but
no, the JMO drafter is usually on the left side. Yeah. JMO at 49. right there. Jackson Dart's a guy I want to have, but like I have a hard time getting to him because I don't love the backstack options and stuff like that. I guess I got to start taking some naked dart like in this range. But when we
want to hear a rage bait take, this
Sure.
is shout out to Karain and Sherman for doing a rage bait episode. That was hilarious and
I
an
haven't
awesome
seen it.
premise.
Okay, cool.
Why take Jackson Dart when you can just take Malik Willis 3 rounds later?
Yeah, I mean, the thesis of it makes a lot of sense. The players around them make me just want to say Jackson Dart, but maybe that's just name value, right?
I mean, what? Like they're having a mid-off between Slayton,
Juju,
Mooney,
and Odell.
Yeah, versus the cast of characters in Miami.
Malik Washington.
They got Isaiah Likely, but we got Greg Dulcich. Like,
nice. Dude, how about a little Malik squared t-shirt for all the Malik Willis to Malik Washington touchdowns?
That's going to be the new thing.
Golden comes back to us, but Love probably won't. So if you want to take Love, now would be the time.
What about
5
your
seconds?
call? I like Rashad White. I'm just going to throw it out there.
All right, let's see what happens. You like Rashad White more than Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think I'm definitely on the Aaron Jones side of the fence there. Rashad White
I think Jordan Mason's the guy you want in that backfield.
I could definitely see that. I could definitely see he's the guy you want in that backfield, and I could see the skill set of Kyler not lining up great for Aaron Jones like dump off seasons.
That's
where
I'm at.
Yeah, and like the touchdown equity funneling through Mason makes a lot more sense than it funneling through Aaron Jones. I'll hear you fully out on that.
That's it. That's the case.
Yeah, my case, and maybe my case was just Aaron Jones over Rashad White because Rashad White got like no money. That backfield's a mess. I think Jaden's going to run a lot more than like Kyler would run. So like, I'm kind of like splitting hairs there of being like, I've seen Rashad White, man. I've seen all those showdown slates that we fucking played him on Thursday nights where he's the RB2 and he's in there for pass pro and he plays 35% of snaps and he goes 6 carries and 4 catches. Like, remember all those pick'ems we made with like catches on Rashad White in trailing game scripts? It totally makes sense. I'm not sure the team thinks as highly of him as the fantasy community does.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think he's like ultra talented, but I do think he's like fine. And, he's got 7th round Bill, who does not play any passing downs. And, Katron Allen, who I like, but, he was a late round pick as well. Rashad is like I think just like a safe bet. It's hard to like paint you a league winning upside case on Rashad White, which, makes it a little difficult to defend, but I just think he's going to be very, very solid as a player. I don't see him failing necessarily. You know what I mean? Like just a safe pick right there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
2 things that I've been looking at behind closed doors. The win total for the Broncos is the same as the Bengals, and they have 2 teams in their own division with higher win totals.
So the Broncos are not. Do the Chiefs have a higher win total than the Broncos?
Yes.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, they have a 10.5 win total.
I don't think.
Love gets sniped right in front of us, but we left the door open for 2 stackable quarterbacks. They're both at ADP value. I think Baker to Igbukah feels better than Tyler Shuck.
Yeah. We'll go Baker.
Is this good enough to be a 2 quarterback team, or would you still be thinking about adding Cam Ward to the Cardinal Tate bet?
No, I think this is a 3 quarterback team.
Okay.
It's a little hard to disrespect the data that much, even though I do think both these guys could really, outperform their ADPs. And if you wanted to make that strong leverage bet, we can talk about that. But just like in a vacuum, you're going 3 QBs with these two guys. But I think Goff is very underrated. We're betting on Baker having a better season. We can, instead of taking a third QB, we can take, some extra Bucks receivers. We can take, Cade Otton and throw him at the, if we want to really, really make that Baker bet, that's what I would do instead of a third QB if we did not.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this team is jumping up and down for whoever comes back to us between Shuck and Ward. Both fit our roster perfectly. Both are going to be here at our very next pick.
Yeah, if this guy at the 10 doesn't take him.
Yeah.
Like if Shuck comes back, that's awesome.
Yeah, sure. I'm good with either. So he's setting up that Rashid Shaheed to Shuck stack.
All right, and Troy won't do it.
Yeah. All right. So Shuck comes back to us. It makes a lot of sense. Is it more important to have a third quarterback on this team than take Coker, who signed the extension, or Diggs, who could get money elsewhere?
No, not for a stacked Shuck.
Okay, perfect. All right, 3 quarterbacks. We can turn off the purple button there. We got a 3-4-4-1 build, which is something we never would have had, 3 years ago on stream. We would have been laughed out of the building, but that's the way in which the rooms flow these days sometimes. So 3-4-4-1 thus far. Goff, Baker, and Shuck all stacked up with presumably one of their number 1 options, maybe their number 2 options here. But then Henry, Brees, Rico, Rashad White, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Emeka Egbuka, Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson, and Tucker Kraft as our lone tight end thus far. Nezzy kind of shaping up as like a 5 running back, 3 quarterback, 3 tight end team right now.
I think that's what I would do.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a pretty solid running back room right now. Can take, this 5th running back can really come at any time. These guys at this point in the draft, like we're not trying to, I think, hit on standalone value from a running back at this point. We're trying to get the guy that at some point in the season, hopefully later in the season, has immense value. So, we're not necessarily looking at a running back here. This is pretty much just like wide receiver and tight end time. And that tight end window is closing pretty rapidly. So Jawan, I really wanted Jawan there.
Yeah, that would have made a lot of sense. It's okay. We're going to have some options here. McMillions would be a nice stack. I'm kind of good with just taking Jalen here.
I like Jalen McMillan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of uncertainty with his role, but I think on this team, it makes a lot of sense.
Good UW boy.
And he just, he's just like, he was so efficient his rookie season. It was just half his catches were touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just long touchdowns.
Good ass Isaac Tesla.
Yeah. a lot of talk that he's like the odd man out and it's Ted Hurst season. I it's a hot take, man, but I don't know that Chris Godwin like what I don't know, man. I don't know. They might have to eventually like play these young, exciting players.
Sure. Yeah.
Like we can still take Ted Hurst on this team if we wanted to.
Absolutely. Could also take Cade Otton still. I mean, maybe I'd probably cap it at $3, but yeah. Okay, let's finish that. I wanted to just do the bull case, bear case for this tail end of the round still. We kind of, these drafts move so fast nowadays that like, we start talking about something else and then whatever. It's not BBM of the old days where you get to talk for 2 rounds and then make a pick here. Because I do really want your take on your point the finger guy at some of the other guys here. But yeah, let's make this pick and then see what happens.
Yeah. I'm low-key coming around on Pacheco, but I don't think he's like who I would take here.
Yeah, I think he's a find end your room guy, especially when we have a Detroit bet already and we don't take a lot of them. Like, I think I'd be fine with him on this roster.
Yeah, him or like one of these tight ends, I think would be.
Let's take him.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I've heard a lot of smart people give some bull cases on him. I mean, I think we do lose sight of how productive he was in the years he wasn't hurt and coming back from whatever that was, Liz Frank, whatever in his foot, like similar injury to Tony Pollard when Tony Pollard looked like he was completely zapped of his juice. I think also like from a visual standpoint, like we poo-poo on Pacheco pretty hard because he looks funny when he runs. Like he pounds the ground and like he just doesn't pass the eye test for people. So people like love to poo-poo on him. I am kind of in the camp that one of the cut guys from Arizona could definitely end up there. And there's a very good chance that one of Benson or Connor get cut, which is like pretty scary and would just instantly hamstring his value and his ADP. But I could see it both ways, man. There's smart people on both sides of the fence here. And if the roster does not change, he's going to be in a pretty good position to find his way to, we think this is a good offense playing in a dome that can really run it up on other teams. And they're also a team that always keeps their foot on the gas. I mean, if Gibbs goes for like 180 and 2 scores and they're up, 24-0 at half, Pacheco's finding his way to 12 carries. There's standalone value here that doesn't have to be contingent, right?
Yeah, I agree. And my like case was like, how does like where are we potentially wrong on Pacheco? And that's assuming that he doesn't have the exact role that David Montgomery had. And if he has that exact same role, is he like I'm not trying to like say that David Montgomery and him are comparable, but like, he's probably very much undervalued if he has the exact same role as David Montgomery. And then, so what's funny is I was thinking about doing something like this for Off and On the Clock, where I was going to add a segment idea called Butterfly Effects.
Okay.
Like if and then, like if this happens, what are the trickle down effects and whatnot? But maybe it would be stupid. But if Pacheco doesn't have the David Montgomery role, like 1-to-1, we're probably drafting the wrong 101.
Right. Yeah. Tesla's looking us in the face here. Barner, Helms.
One of these wide receivers. Or Helms cool. Helms cool too. We need tight ends.
Yeah.
He's sort of, the last of a tier. He had a nice rookie season. We've got the Carnell Tate selection there too. So we do think that this offense can take a step forward.
Yeah, I like it. And a little bit of week 17 correlation as well, for what it's worth. I mean, we're probably done at running back. I think we are done at running back. No, I like the concept, dude. I think it'd be a pretty good one to just like talk through. I mean, it's kind of like a more glorified version of the handcuff, like the if thens or whatever. Like we do the if thens on Off and On the Clock for like a Tuesday like a Thursday night football slate. Or we do the F-thens for like a primetime Palooza slate. Like, why not do the F-thens for an entire season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's some interesting, downstream effects, by asking yourself, like, what if this assumption we make is actually this? And how does it, something that has changed that is like a chain reaction as opposed to just like, oh, well, this guy's a good pick then. Well, what happens to the other guys,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, throw my hat in the ring there for an if-then of Michael Mayer in the last round.
Ooh.
Like how different is Michael Mayer completely undrafted versus Terrence Ferguson going drafted every single time?
Right now, they look like they're going to play a ton of heavy because I don't know what the hell else the plan is there. You're not playing a ton of 11 with that wide receiving core.
Right. Yeah.
No way.
Okay, we're going to have a couple more picks here. One's going to be a tight end. The other two are probably going to be wide receivers.
Yep.
I don't really care in which order we address them. I mean, Tesla stacks. It would make a lot of sense if he comes back. We got a pretty heavy Lions bet already. We also got like a Brandon Ayuk flyer staring us in the face. Jeremy Bernard feels okay. Tank Dell has some 17 correlation, and I just like him.
Do you want
Ted Hurst stacks.
Hurst or Tesla?
Yeah, you want to go super stacking here?
Kinda.
We already have 2 Bucks wide receivers, so let's split the difference and take Tesla.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that might have been a spot on my own that I would have just taken the Ayuk. What do you win when you win? But like,
I get it.
Tesla in a really good offense that plays in a dome, who scored a bunch of touchdowns last year. What if he gets to run routes that aren't just in the red zone this year?
He should be running more routes.
Okay.
With I think Raymond was kind of dusting him as a rookie, but like he was a rookie and still caught touchdowns. So he should be running more routes this year.
Respect it.
Playing that Tim Patrick role, in the end zone.
Yeah, good comp. This guy can jump out the gym though. Jaden Blue now getting a little bit of steam up into the 16th round there for Go Cards.
Gozy Cards is a little 0 RB going, huh?
Yeah, a little bit, eh? Singleton, Tracy, Mason, Harvey.
Look at that.
Anchor Judkins.
Keeping the slappy spirit alive. That's a fun team.
He's it's a fun team. Yeah, and then you take a big, ceiling shot on Hunter as well.
Yeah.
Maybe Kate Otten would have been a click for us there, but
I kind of don't love Kate Otten. I don't know. I think he's like fine, but I don't know.
Good with it? Yeah. I respect it. Okay, we remind me at the end of the draft that I want to do the point the finger guy at the 1-2 turn and the 2-3 turn, okay?
Okay.
Because we kind of teased that convo, then half had the convo, and then now we've been worried about our roster construction. Henceforth. Feels like tight end or wide receiver. If Hurst comes back to us, I guess it's just close your eyes and take him.
Could be. I mean, we don't have to. I mean, I know I like him.
I mean, I think it just makes sense. Like, what do you win when you make the Tampa bet? Like, if you're going to have a last round or second last round pick rookie wide receiver, why not just take a third correlated piece?
I think you win a lot there. Like we're kind of like splitting the difference there and hedging with the McMillan and Hurst stuff. But, I think we both think McMillan can play.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of like, how does it shake out? And if it shakes out more Hurst than McMillan, then we get a great value on Hurst. And it just like really just kind of strengthens that Baker bet, and it's a pretty clean bet where like, oh yeah, if Baker's cooking, these guys are going like, it's just like a fun bet. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah. I respect it. Wow. Go AZ Cards cooking in this room, but then drops a Darnell Washington last round in an eliminator as his only tight end. That's insanity.
Dude, I love that.
Crazy. That's crazy, Galbrain.
I don't think people are pushing the envelope enough at tight end in the eliminator, man. I think people are way too hung up on getting those 5 points.
Yeah, we were talking about that pretty extensively in our eliminator segment on Off and On the Clock a couple weeks back. Just like what you can get away with by just accepting the fact that draft capital at the tight end position, if you don't have an elite one, then like it doesn't matter. Like, I'm gonna throw out a name here. I already threw it out earlier. It was an if-then statement. I don't know if it's too Galbrain. Maybe we just should take Terrence Ferguson if he's here. Nobody else is going to take a fourth tight end here. Although never say never. This guy's cooking a 2-3-9-3. So who knows?
2-3-9-3.
And then Deshaun Watson, fourth quarterback. Got to do it. I mean, Terrence Ferguson would probably just be my favorite pick that's left.
Ferg is just like the correct pick.
Okay. I was going to throw out the Michael Mayer thesis. I think it's totally fine in the last round. I think it's going to be underrepresented relative to the ADP. I think they could do some cool, 2 tight end stuff with him. I think people forget how high the draft capital is. And I also think he's like probably one of the best contingent, handcuffy style tight ends, if that's even a thing, on the board. But I think Ferg was probably just a smarter pick.
Yeah, Ferg has a chance to break out. I know like Easy is really in on Ferg. A lot of smart people are also in on Ferg. The Rams are going to be so damn good. They're going to play so much heavy. They talk so highly of Ferguson when like in the draft when they took him.
Yeah. There's been some good camp buzz stuff too, and like people talking about like think about him more as like a third wide receiver and like the Tutu Atwell, field stretching role then becomes, layered on a tight end position opposed to, yeah. Anyways, there's been some coach speak stuff that I was reading. Yeah, got to get Charlie Kohler there to stack it up at the end. No, we didn't have the Chargers stuff going. Fun team, Nez. We'll break it all down in a half second. I do just want to reset this conversation because I did think the points you brought up on Chase Brown were pretty intriguing. And I just kind of look at this. I'm not sure Genty, like Troy takes Genty at 9 there. I do think I would rather the 3 wide receivers, and then it's just that big brick of green. And as the summer goes on, if you want to sell me the notion that the elite tight ends deserve to be in this tier, I wouldn't fight you. If you want to sell me this pen that like, hey, Tua becomes the starting quarterback and we know who to stack Drake London with, or Penix rather becomes the starting quarterback and he belongs in this tier, I'm not going to fight you on it at all. I'm just kind of using what I'm seeing in front of me as the big green brick tier here. So from Genty down to Ken Walker. So for the audio listeners, Genty, Cook, Hampton, Saquon, HN, Chase Brown, Henry, Walker. You got to, and I'll let you pick 2 because it's a big tier. If you had to just fucking point your finger and just be like, that's the guy I want in this tier, who are the 2 that stand out to you? These are the BBM type winners.
I really want to say, like, I'm taking Genty, but like, like gun to my head, it's Derrick Henry and Ken Walker.
Okay, yeah, this is kind of what I was getting at because they're at the end of the tier and they're the guys that I always feel really comfortable starting my running back room with in the second round. When I take one of those 3 wide receivers, if I do the Amon-Ra Lamb or Jefferson start, I feel way more comfortable going Barkley, Henry, or Walker than any of the other names there.
Yeah, man. Derrick, like people just forget how good of a season Derrick Henry had last year when things were like not even that good for Baltimore, and he still had a great year. And Ken Walker, it's just we have to really kind of like reset what we, like, I mean, we're taking him in the second round. Obviously, we think very highly of him. There is really a chance that he has such high upside. It's just like it's crazy to me. Like I really do think that we could see him in a pass catching role, like we kind of saw. I think like 2 years ago, we saw him like in a way more pass catching role for Seattle. We know that the Chiefs like to use pass catchers, running backs as pass catchers. He could have the goal line role as well. He can break off long runs. And he's on the fucking Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, man. Like,
right.
I mean, taking Chase Brown. I mean, no offense to Troy. Troy's a Cincinnati guy, so he can do that. But taking Chase Brown over Ken Walker is something like I will just like never do. I think Ken Walker. I'm gonna have a lot of Ken Walker.
Okay. Let me do one quick little back of the napkin math here. Because I think we do sometimes in this argument, like we get very excited about the notion of Ken Walker on the Chiefs. Are we sure it's that much better in offensive environment than Seattle was last year?
Well,
this team won
the difference is that he doesn't have Charbonnet taking all this fucking work.
Yeah, theoretically
it's Amari
speaking.
DiMercado, it's Emmett Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have a problem. I think I'm projecting him for having the best pass catching role of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bart tied with that season 2 years ago where he like really kind of ramped up his pass catching role. Like what was 2 years ago? I think. Yeah. He caught 46 balls in 24.
Sure. Yeah. I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at right now. And do you see? It's very interesting. He has 2 receiving touchdowns in his entire career, and he has 1 season over 30 catches. I mean, granted, it's only a 4-year sample, and he's only
and I think that's way more of an offensive thing than a person than a player thing.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious because like I do think I think pattern matching with like a Chiefs offense and like what that gives you in terms of like touchdown scoring equity and what that gives you in teams in terms of like team upside isn't what it was, 4 years ago when Mahomes was Mahomes and Mahomes was cooking fantasy and whatever. Like the way Mahomes has been for 4 years is like QB 15. I know he makes it look pretty IRL, but like this is also like an aging Chiefs team with an ACL for Mahomes. And like, I know it's not nearly as sexy an offense as like Sam Darnold last year. I know it's not sexy to say it, like they had a sexy offense with Sam Darnold last year, but like in terms of like yards per game and points per game and stuff like that, they fucking nuked the Chiefs and they won the Super Bowl.
Kareem Hunt, John, at his big age of 30, had 9 touchdowns for the Chiefs last year.
Okay. Yeah. And Mahomes missed time.
Well, what can Ken Walker do?
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt scored 9 touchdowns. What the fuck's Ken Walker going to do? Even if he only scores 9 touchdowns, he's putting up 1,200 total scrimmage yards. That like minimum.
Mm-hmm. He's never done that in his career, by the way, but I'll allow it.
He's gotten pretty fucking close. I mean, even last year he almost did it.
Okay.
Last year he had 1,000 yards on the ground last year.
Yeah. How many in the air? 280. All right, 280. He did 1,200. All right, fine. Okay. All right, here you go. Davis is correcting me. Mahomes has never finished worse than QB 11. I'm talking about Mahomes like he's QB 20.
I mean, we've got fully healthy. Their offense is going to be really good.
Okay. All right. Because I think if I in this range, this brick of green that we're talking about, and this might just be boring and lame and old head week 1 brain, I just go Saquon and Henry. Just give it to me. You know,
think, I'm really worried about Saquon's touchdown equity. He like the year he went nuts is because he like broke so many long runs.
Mm-hmm.
New coordinator, AJ Brown gone. Things could easily flip back into that direction for him, but the tush push isn't going away.
Sure. Yeah.
That's such a big deal. Like imagine just like any of these guys like that have a backfield mate that scores 8 rushing touchdowns a year at the 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm.
We're in shambles. You know?
Okay, Saquon, 28 years old, last year coming off of that crazy, touch season where he had like whatever it was, almost 400 touches with the stat that everyone started citing with like the playoffs included. He had like 415 touches, blah, blah, blah. His body's worn down, this and that. He had 1,140 yards on the ground. He had 7 touchdowns. He had 270 through the air and another 2 touchdowns. He had like a way better year than Ken Walker did on the Super Bowl winning team. And that was like Saquon's bad year.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a bad year from the sense that he was like the 102.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, we're drafting him back, at the 1-2 now. Yeah, what was Chase Brown had a good season last year.
Yeah.
Better than the year prior. 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns. I guess there's still room to grow.
And they were missing Burrow for 7 of those games or whatever, 7.5, 8.5 of those games.
Yeah. I might be overhating there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very pivotal decision point on like a winning BBM portfolio because I find it very unique that we have the ability to get densely exploitative this season with some high profile names or high profile quote unquote bell cow names. Like you have the opportunity to build a portfolio right now where you have 80% Ken Walker because you believe he smashes this tier. Is that something I want to do? I don't know.
No, but it's way too flat. Like it's way too flat there. Yeah. I just have fades.
Sure.
And right now Chase Brown's one of them.
What about Achan?
He's one of them.
Most 40-plus yard runs and most 30-plus yard runs in football the last 2 years.
Yeah, like I would love to get to him. Like I'm not taking London or AJ Brown over him.
Sure, yeah.
But
yeah,
some
no,
of those,
I just think
running backs I am.
I think it's so fucking interesting, these two pockets. Like, and I really want to just like learn and listen to other people and hear opinions, because like if Omari and Hampton with McDaniels is like the focal point of that offense and that whole thing go Burr, sign me up, you know?
Yeah.
If the Bengals are actually a 9.5 win team and it's completely concentrated around, you know, Higgins, Chase, sign me up. Like, you know, like I want these narratives in this pocket. The two biggest that I'm like most scared of, I guess, are Hampton and Achan, but I don't think that's different than anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a sick pocket regardless.
Yeah.
I'm pretty high on Genty for the talent, but and the improvements made to the O-line, but that's still a very scary situation in terms of like the team probably not being good. And then like I don't want to full fade Achan. Like I don't think he's like a disaster pick. Because like how much worse are the Dolphins this year than last year? Like Tua was a disaster last year.
Right.
Tyreek Hill before he got hurt was a disaster.
The nice thing I can
still finished. Sorry, just I'm almost done. Achan finished with 1,800 yards and 12 touchdowns last year.
That's wild. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That team sucked.
Yeah. The nice thing I can say about Achan in that system, though, is Tua dump off stuff and McDaniels designed jet motion shit and not a running quarterback beside him.
My counter to that is it doesn't take a genius to throw the ball to Devon Achan.
It doesn't take a genius to just go like this.
I think Malik Willis can get the ball to the most talented player on the field.
I love it.
I think they'll figure out a way to make that happen.
Oh, we got another narrative street for Chase Brown contract year. Good Canadian kid. He's in like Gillette commercials up here, or like Advil commercials or something.
Canadian aspirin?
Yeah, Canadian aspirin commercials. Oh, man. Yeah, man. This is 100 saying it like me. It's like good points by both of you. Like, this is why I really like having these like kind of like just unfiltered, nothing pre-prepared, just brain dump sessions, because it's like we're just talking this out on the fly. Yeah, because I do think it is a year that things set up because everybody thinks these tiers are so flat in different spots that it does set up to be a year to be like, throw your fucking sack on the table, bro, and let's get hyper exploitative and let's go try and get 60 teams advancing instead of just going, hey, let's get my 16.6% through to the playoffs and see what happens, because the pendulum swung to everybody doing that shit. So to you to show up here and just be like, I'm the nuts on the table guy. I have every Derrick Henry combo. I have every Saquon combo because those are the right answers to the test. Let's rip, you know? It's interesting. It's just the board sets up differently than it ever has before outside of the first four picks, basically. Yeah.
I know, man. It's really, really interesting. And the more I think, like if Genty's price is going to be right there, then I'm probably going to like stop taking him as much, even though like I think that he just can really have that legendary season. It's just the team I don't think is good enough.
Right. The systemic failure, and then the pushback is like, is the talent even that talented? He played in the fucking Mountain West. Like, you know, like him going Burr at Boise State, like ain't the same thing as Saquon going Burr at Penn State.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know.
We could be overrating him for sure.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Anyways, the last one I wanted to end on, Nez, we'll have a conversation tomorrow or the next day about it, because we got some Frenchy Friday stuff and we've already been 2.5 hours right now. But the one that we want to hit a mental reset on is the exact same conversation, but starting from kind of like that Ladd McConkey at 31, because that Ladd McConkey pull-up really set the tone for the rest of that range. And there's a lot of guys that just kind of live in this pocket that everybody says like Olave, Neighbors, and Kyron is kind of like the tier break. and then it's kind of like Brees and ETN and Josh Allen, and then it's kind of like this big quote unquote flat tier all the way down to like Luther Burden and Loveland. And I want to have like the same combo again of like, hey, point your guy. Let's just talk it out on the fly. So we'll do kind of like the same thing with the 3rd and 4th round turn there, because I think it's where you can fully win this year is in those areas.
Yeah, this is obviously, it's a pretty tough range. I'm very, very in on Zay Flowers.
Okay. Well, we can have this conversation tomorrow, but if you want to have it now, we'll have it now.
I thought you wanted to do it right now. Okay.
Well, I was like, we've already been 2.5 hours. We'll recap the team, give us some time to think about it. But if you want to have the combo now,
no. Let's wrap this shit up.
Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up there. I did just download the solver breakdown for a reminder that this was a Pitbull, not a BBM. So a little bit more of a time box contest here. We presume, I think we got 4 more Pitbulls to do. Dude, we don't usually get ADP and CLV around here. But it turns out today we did, man. Some big time value. We also filled up the buckets quite well. We did talk about that structure being kind of weird as we went through, how we had like a 3-4-4-1 at one point, like something we would never do in the past there. But some monster stacks for team bets on Detroit and Tampa Bay in particular there. And then we did luck into Shuck coming back to us. So we have a little bit of a New Orleans bet as well. There's some good ADP value, some draft closing line, draft capital value, whatever you want to call it there. A 3-5-7-3 and a first half build of a 1-3-4-1. Goff, Baker, and Shuck. Henry, Brees, Rico, White, and Pacheco. Had some interesting conversations about both White, Rico, and Pacheco. If you missed them, those were pretty good and well thought out. And then Amon-Ra, Igbuka, Tate, Tyson, McMillions, Tesla, and Ted Hurst. Tucker Kraft anchoring kind of a weak tight end room, but if Tucker Kraft go Burr, it can hold water with Gunnar Helm and Terrence Ferguson as some upside shots to go alongside Tucker Kraft. The preeminent question of our generation, Nez, does it suck or does it fuck?
This team absolutely fucks. I'm trying to think about the comp here. Like when I see this team, what are the vibes that it's giving me? I think it's just like I don't know. I think it's like it's a type of smash where you're like whoa, why am I like catching feelings? I barely remember this person's name. Like what? I want to tell this person I love them right now.
Right. I
want to whisper I love you in their ear right now.
Yeah, these are some soft, sensual kisses on the side of the neck that you're like, what am I doing? Right?
I
didn't know I had that in me.
I see a future with this team, Yeah.
I see a future with this team. Killing me, bro. This is next couple dates, you're like already thinking like, man, do I gotta go like rose petals on the bed, put some candles on? Like, is it love making season? I fully agree with you, bro. This is I love this from line of scrimmage. Getting steamy AF team. That is what this is, man. This is not like, hey, roll over to your side of the bed after it's over. It's like, are we gonna have a shower together after? Like, are we gonna walk around in house coats together with the candles on? That's what this is, man. This is a love maker. I fully agree with you, dude. This makes me feel things, but I'm not. When we started, I didn't think I was gonna feel this way.
Yeah, no, I really like the way this came together. This is like respectfully slappy. This is how you do responsibly slappy.
Responsibly slappy.
Say, yeah.
Sucks or Fucks segment brought to you by a virgin and a guy who had sex once for the kid.
That had sex for the functionality of it.
Hurry up and end the show. I need a cold shower. Oh, man. So do I. Oh, good, clean fun. All right, Desi Takes. That's the end of the segment. Everybody enjoy the short slate MLB this evening. Also, enjoy the Kicky Ball Kicky, man. Some European football this evening. 6 games of that. A pretty fun slate in my estimation. I think that is locked now. But yeah, just some pretty good games tonight with a lot of implications for the round of 32. So that'll be pretty fun for people. And we'll be back tomorrow, man. Loaded baseball slate. We'll talk through it there. And it is a Frenchie Friday. So tons more football coming down the pipeline for my sickos. Until we're at 2:30.
Miss you, GA. Thank you for being here.
GA, I love you, bro. All right, guys. Any parting words for the people there, Nezzy?
No, TBD about a no strip stream tomorrow. Haven't decided, but yeah, I'll let you guys know. Probably little 7th inning stretch, maybe an NFL draft if I do anything, but I'll let you know tomorrow.
Awesome. And speaking of 7th inning stretch, if you guys want to earn some BBM entries for free there, you do 5 of them and you get a BBM entry there. So a little incentive to fill the 7th inning stretch. And if you need help in doing so, Nez, link below over here, down there, did a members only stream yesterday for everyone, talking through some of the meta of what a 4-week sprint style contest looks like in baseball. Considerably different than our dinger style stuff, especially on the pitching front there. Best of luck in the baseball streets. Best of luck in the World Cup streets. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.